This is X with another.
The darkness continues.
Open your mind.
Dark exodus. Dark exodus. The protester. Dark exodus. Open your mind.
You know.
Yeah, X.
You know.
Dark exodus. You understand? Yeah, X.
You
understand? Open your mind. Dark X. Yeah, X.
You know.
You understand? Yeah, X. Open your mind. Dark Exodus. Dark Exodus.
And welcome back, Negroes. I don't have to introduce myself because you just saw my ass like 20 minutes ago. But another show for y'all because I told y'all it was a double header tonight. I got my folks in the house tonight. For the Record TV is here, brother Bitcoin L, Lady Topaz, and brother Third Ward Colombian are in the house. I gotta apologize to them when I bring them up. We about 20 damn minutes late. Shit went a little long with my brother Jay Shine, longer than I expected, so I have to apologize for that. Once again, y'all know I'm glad to see y'all come up in here, man. I appreciate y'all. I don't take you lightly. I never have, and I never will. But without further goddamn delay, let me bring up my folks because I see two of them are here already. The one and only Bitcoin L and brother Third Ward Colombian. What's good with it, brothers? Where Lady Topaz at? I sent her the link.
She probably coming. I'm gonna text her right now. She probably coming.
Okay.
No, you got to give the ladies more time. You know, ladies be always, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm married. I'm
So.
married to one. Trust me, I know. Shit that's supposed to take 20 minutes takes 2 hours. Yeah, I know. Goddamn. My car be done ran out of gas sitting outside waiting for her to come out the goddamn house. I'm glad y'all are here, man. It's always good, man, when y'all come through. I had told Lady Topaz that it wasn't any real topic tonight. We just kind of freestyling. We just gonna talk some shit, chop it up. Just got off with brother Jay Shine. Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad y'all here. So the channel is doing good down there, man. So what do y'all got in store? What's coming up? What's coming up for the channel?
Hey, what's going on, X? I don't know if you had seen my email. I sent you a few clips, few videos. I wanted you to show the people.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw them. We can run them. We can run them. Absolutely, we can run them.
I'll say this. As far as what's coming up, I mean, of course, we're trying to grow our channel, trying to get it bigger, trying to do different, bigger and better things. Now, as far as what's coming up, you never know, so definitely stay tuned. But I will say, after that last interview that we did with you, which I want to say that was like maybe 7-8 months ago, somewhere in that range. Probably the biggest thing that we did on our channels, we had an interview, or we interviewed a really popular, legendary Southern rapper from Memphis, which is Brandon City. Shout out to Brandon. And actually, I got to give Brandon the credit because he the one that came up with the idea. We just ran with it, but we got to interview Project Pat, from 3-6 Mafia, legendary Memphis rapper. And I got to say, it was quite an experience. He was very cool cat, very humble, down-to-earth cat. He wasn't one of these dudes that, because he was a rapper or artist, that, he, couldn't relate to us in any kind of way. And he was, very nice, very humble, respectful. And, whatever question that we asked him, he answered it. And, he it was a really dope interview. So for those who didn't catch it or they missed it, go to For the Record TV, scroll down to our playlist, and I think that interview was maybe 6 months ago, I want to say. So so y'all go check that out, man. That was a classic interview that we did with the one and only Project Pat out of Memphis.
Yeah, I was jealous as a motherfucker when I was watching that shit. I was like, God damn, how they get this damn dude on a shit.
Oh wow!
But it was good shit. It was good shit though, man. Good shit though, because I was down there checking it out, man. And Lady Topaz, you're late. By the way,
yes,
late,
I understand. Topaz. I didn't see the link, but I got it, and I'm here. My apologies.
Mm-hmm. Well, we was expecting.
I'm gonna send for Topaz now. Usually Third be the one late all the time, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Let me go on mute.
This is true. This is true.
So what did y'all have going down at the show tonight? I did peep in for a few minutes, but I had Brother Jay Sean on, so I couldn't like stay long.
Yeah, man.
He was
I saw Jay Shine lit it up. He lit it up a couple hours ago. So shout out to Jay Shine, man.
Give a shout out to the homie Jay Shine. He also come through over on our channel from time to time, and he'll hit the panel. He'll participate in the discussion that we have, and he'll be in the chat showing love. Shout out to Jay Sean, man. Good dude, man. Good people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, very passionate about what he talks about. He's very passionate about what he speaks about, man.
Oh, absolutely. I don't always agree with his ass, but that's my brother.
Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah, I've been fucking with Jay Sean for a very long time. I've been fucking with Jay Sean since about 2014. So, we done been through some crazy shit side by side, him and I may have to discuss it with y'all in the back chat, but we've been through some shit, him and I, and he always welcome up here. So that's just what it is. But one of
the things that we were speaking about was the whole John Gruden situation about was what he said was racist, homophobic, or misogynistic. So what was your thoughts on when you heard his emails or read them? Excuse me.
I'm kind of on the fence, and I'll tell you why. We live in a world now where something that you said 10, 15, 20 years ago can cause you to lose a career that you've been at for 20 years. And I don't necessarily think that is just, because it's sort of like an extension of the Me Too. This guy, he grabbed my ass back in 2000. Even though I haven't worked for the company for 12 years, he grabbed my ass when I was working at the company, and she go and tell somebody, and in 2021 he's fired. I think it's kind of like that, because if you go back far enough in anybody's social media, you can probably find something in there that your ass don't like. Now, far as him, from what I understand, it was emails, not even social media, right? So you're talking about emails from 10, 12 years ago. Yeah, maybe the emails were stupid, but I don't necessarily mean a person should have to leave their position, have to quit their job or get fired for some shit they might have said that was stupid, 10, 15 years ago. I don't think I agree with that shit, man. I don't know if I'm with that.
Me neither. I didn't agree with that. And just like Third brought up on the show was the Colin Kaepernick situation when he just kneeled down. I don't think he should have been fired neither. He just kneeled down. He ain't hurt nobody. But some of the military guys, I guess, will feel some type of way about that because our NFL is really based on the military, big on supporting them. So when they seem like they're offended by something he did, of course, NFL gonna take action. But I think he should have been fined maybe, but not fired.
Yeah.
And same thing with John Gruden.
Well, I'll say this. I would disagree with John. I think John Gruden needed to be fired, and I'm gonna say why. Because, and I said this when we just went live on the last channel, because, like, I just want to be clear. The reason why he got fired was not because he said racist things about DeMaurice Smith or other minority players, which he has in prior emails or whatever. It's because he addressed the rainbow community. When he addressed the rainbow community, all bets was off. He crossed the line, especially, I don't know if you've been seeing recently, but the NFL has been basically trying to reach a broader audience of people, including the rainbow community. And, that thing we did a stream like a month, some months ago, where Brandon played a NFL clip commercial, and it says the NFL is,
rainbow,
gay, rainbow, this, yeah, what I'm saying? Just, that the NFL is rainbow, and everybody that's a part of that rainbow community, and I was like, wow, what I'm saying? So, when he said, when he addressed the rainbow community, all bets was off. Like, had he just never said nothing about them, I believe he still would have had his job. But because he addressed the rainbow community, that's the final straw. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, he shouldn't have said it, especially on a public email. But the problem that I have with that situation is that why is it that, when you address somebody's sexuality or, that, it becomes an issue. But, when you go in about somebody's race, which is something that they can't really have no control over, that, gets overlooked. So basically what this whole situation tells me is that to the NFL, somebody's sexuality is more important than somebody's race, which I totally disagree with. I don't agree with that. So my thing is this: at the end of the day, I know you and Brandon say that he shouldn't have got fired, but I think he should have, just off of the simple fact that, number one, you said some racist stuff. Two, you pissed off the rainbow community, and then, three, he actually, I think he called the NFL the F word, the 3-letter F word, and you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one thing if that's what you think or if that's what you want to say to somebody publicly or privately behind the scenes. But when you put that stuff on public emails, especially the company's public email, like, you pretty much are just asking for it. And even though I agree, yes, it was 10 something years ago, the fact is when you still putting it on, on any type of technological device, these type of stuffs can be backtracked all the way to 10 years ago. Like, once it's out there on the internet or in a documented email, it's out there forever. They can go back and fish that shit from way back then. So his problem is he should have never put it on anything to where it could be traced. He should have just, expressed it to somebody verbally behind the scenes, and at this point, it would have been a case of he say, she say. But because he put it in many different emails and documents that could be traced, this is why he ended up getting, let go and fired. And, we all know with these big public, companies and leagues, it's all about the league and the brand first. And, he basically put that in jeopardy from what he said. And so somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb, and it was going to be him. So, I mean, I kind of feel like he got what he deserved. Like, you should have known better. Like, why put that stuff on social media or anywhere on a computer when, you have people out here who are experts in looking at finding stuff that you send. Even if you delete it off of your actual computer, they can still find it. Like, the experts can still go look for it. You know what I'm saying? And I've even seen this like on some of these, like, I like to watch like the little the like forensic files and stuff like that. And you've had many criminals that have put stuff on their hard drive computer. They try to delete it, but they take it to a professional, and they can find it still. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why even go there if you know that these people are capable of doing such things? So that's why I think he messed up at.
Well, for me, third, real quick, I was gonna say, well, I think the difference is, and maybe T.P.O.T or Topaz could let me know if I'm wrong. I think his third already told me what I was wrong at. I was just gonna say, when he called the white dude, one of the owners, I guess, what was his name? He called him a maggot. He didn't say maggot, but
Roger Goodell, he called him a maggot.
Okay, he called him that word. Now, if he would have called the brother that N word or something like that, I think he would have been fired too. But all he said was the dude lips look like Michelin tires. Now, do you guys feel like that was racist, T.P.O.T, Topaz?
No. I mean, my mind doesn't go to racism when you say, you got lips like Michelin tires. But I have to agree. I have to agree with brother Third Ward on this part. If you're gonna be racist or whatever, it's probably a good idea to kind of keep it to yourself. Only talk about it to your wife at the dinner table, and make sure she ain't recording, because when y'all get divorced, she'll be playing that shit at the divorce hearing. If you're gonna do, because see, this is my thing. This is what bothers me more than anything else. If you say something, right? If I say something today and I work for a company, 10 years from now, they can come back and say, oh, X, 10 years ago, you said X, Y, and Z. So you fired. That's why I'm glad I don't fucking work for nobody. I run my own shit.
Real talk.
And I think that is because what you're trying to do is you're retroactively policing. Now, it's one thing if someone comes in the job and, they saying a bunch of bigoted, discriminatory shit, and you hear it and you like, look, man, I don't tolerate this shit in my place. You got to get the hell out. You're fired today. That's one thing. But for a person to be fired down the road after they said it retroactively, that's what I don't agree with. Because my shop, I don't let people come in there. You can't be up in my shit, talking this kind of foolishness. You can't do it. But, if I catch you doing it, I'm going to get rid of you right then and there. All right. I'm not gonna. It ain't gonna be 10 years from now, 15 years from now, right then and there. And likewise, because I got one guy who's been working for me for almost 6 years now, 5, 6 years now. He's been working for me, right? So now, if I was to like say go through his emails or something he did on the computer, and I see that he said something crazy 5 years ago, I'm not gonna fire him. I may ask him about it, but if it's something from 5, 6 years ago, I'm not gonna be okay. You fired, man, because you said this bullshit. I
So
just don't.
if you hired a non-black guy and he's saying the N-word, let's say I don't like N-words 10 years ago, you gonna keep him still, even though he's a good worker, he's an excellent worker, no complaints at all. But somebody sent you emails of what he said, a screenshot what he said, you're gonna keep him.
Well, I don't hire nobody but brothers. But if I was
Yeah, I'm saying if you did hypothetically.
yeah, hypothetically, if I had somebody say a white boy or a Latino, and he's a good worker, he's never called nobody a nigga at the job, he's never called nobody a nigga on the job site. If I found out that he said nigga 10 years ago, I may confront him. I'm probably going to confront him, but no, I don't think I'll fire him because he said it 10 years ago. I don't think I would do that.
Okay.
I don't think I would do that. I would confront him. I'd be like, yo, man, what's up with you in this, calling people nigga shit? Of course I'm going to ask him about the shit, but I don't think I would fire him if he said it, 10 years ago. I mean, because that's retroactively policing, man. The statute of limitation has ran out on it, man. It's more than 10 years. The statute of limitations is gone. So, but we wouldn't
So
have
if it
a
was
conversation.
yesterday, basically what you're saying, if it was yesterday, you'll fire him on the spot. Okay, get out of here.
If you said something recently, you in the shop calling people niggas today, yeah, you gone. But
Right.
The statute of limitations has ran out. So
Right, that's fair.
I mean, I would confront him now. Of course, I'm gonna confront his ass. Like, look here, man. You probably don't want to be doing that shit. Because
I was young, I was dumb, I didn't mean it. Now I love black people. I love black folks, and I'm working with you.
If you do it up in here and I find out about it, you're gone. That would be my approach. I wouldn't fire him on the spot for something he said 10 years ago. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What about you, Lady T?
Well, okay, so to answer both of the questions, I don't think it was racist, but I do think it was prejudiced. And it means that basically what I hear from that comment, him talking about the dude lips, is that he thinks white features are more attractive than black features. Okay, that's your opinion. Now, what are you doing with this opinion? That's what I care about. Now, are you saying that you only want to work around other white people because you don't like looking at big lips or something? For me, I would need to know, what is he doing with that feeling? What is he doing with that emotion? Now, I wouldn't fire him if that's just like his view, his opinion on attractiveness. I mean, I guess, I don't have to fire you for that. But if you feel like you can't respect somebody that you feel like his lips are too big, then now I got a problem. And second of all, I don't feel like he should have been fired. I can say that. I don't think that it necessitated firing him if he's still doing his job. And so it was Deborah in the chat said, why do we care about what people think privately? Well, this came out into the public because it can. And we see a whole lot of people whose private moments are being recorded by somebody, and now they're being put out. Especially think about elections. When people are running for office, somebody always come up with a videotape of them saying some disparaging remarks about minorities or people that could possibly vote for them. I like to know what they think. I'm glad it came out into the public because at least now I know where I stand with him. Now, is he disrespecting me by doing other things based on that? Then yeah, he should be fired. But you have to understand that when you work for a business, if you say anything that is going to cause outrage and they see dollars slipping away, they're going to fire you. So, I mean, why are you even saying this at work? All of the time and the moments that you're focusing on this man's looks, you were supposed to be doing the job I'm paying you to do. So basically, you on my clock thinking about other shit. And for that, yeah, I would have a whole problem with that as a business owner.
Yeah, but are they... See, this is my problem with this kind of stuff, right? Because we see a lot of people come and go over something they said, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And my thing is this: are they really getting rid of the person because they think what they did was wrong, or are they getting rid of the person because their sponsors, their shareholders, their investors are stopping those checks? Because even if someone got on national TV, mainstream TV, and they just start singing the nigga song, I'm a nigga, you're a nigga. What if they just got on there and start singing that, but nobody pulled those checks? Nobody stopped writing those checks. Nike still sponsored them. Adidas still sponsored them. Audi still sponsored them. Mercedes-Benz still sponsored them. Would they get rid of that person? Or are they only getting rid of that person because the people who back them have, stopped that payment?
Well, T.P.O.T, I want to say this, like Third was bringing up the fact that he got fired because he called another man a homophobic term, maggot. So my thing is this: the NFL is really supported by, if I'm not mistaken, by white men, heterosexual white men. Am I correct about that? Did you guys say that?
Yeah, mostly just heterosexual men, period. But yes, I would say mostly white heterosexual
Right,
men.
right.
Correct.
So that's my thing. Like the LGBT, that's a small, minute. That's not really a big supporter. So him saying that about the homophobic, the LGBT people, how did that get him fired? Because they're not, the LGBT is not really supported by it. Don't really support the NFL like that.
And shout out to my dude, Sir Ism of the Macosphere, Jack, for the $5 super chat.
Macosphere, what's happening?
I appreciate that, brother Ism. He says, salute from the Macosphere. Tell these suckers to show something, Jack. Yeah. That's my impersonation of Sir Ism, y'all. I appreciate that, brother Ism. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think that, not just in sports, but in media, period, when you're talking about, TV, radio, internet, have we gotten so damn sensitive that you can't even have said something 20 years ago? Forget today. I mean, is that where we are now?
Well, I would say it is. So here's the thing. I get what people are saying about, it was an email, it was private, but from my understanding, he was using the company's public email. Now, anytime you're using the company's public email, that email belongs to the company. It doesn't belong to you. Yes, might be your particular email that's, you're working for that company. But at the end of the day, like for instance, at one point in time, I used to work for Amazon, right? I used to work in the call center at Amazon, and they gave me an Amazon email to use while I'm up there. Now, if I send an email out using their their email that they gave me, you know what I'm saying, which is theirs, even if it was private to someone, they can still look at it and they can still determine that if it was something that could be harmful to their company and to their brand, they could deem it, to where, I can get fired for that or held accountable for that. So I think people are not understanding. And let's just be honest, even if it was his personal email account, right? Even if it's just his personal email account that was separate from the job of the company, my thing is why would you send something out like that if you don't want it to be public? Because once you send something out to somebody, it becomes a public thing. It's not a private thing anymore, because you don't know if the person that you're sending it to, you don't know if they can share it with somebody else. If I send you an email right now, T.P.O.T, if you wanted to, you can send that email out and share it and forward it to whoever else you want to forward it to if you chose to do so. So my thing is, you knew you was saying some foul type of stuff, in that email, and you was saying a bunch of stuff that if the NFL got wind of it, they would deem it to be inappropriate, or they would deem it to be quote unquote not PC. So why would you send it to somebody else to where they could turn around, flip it, and forward it to somebody else and send it out? Like, that's my thing. I'm not going to send something out that I feel like could be harmful if somebody else decides to forward it to somebody else, and it becomes like a chain, reaction of emails sent to this person and that person. Like, never send anything out that you feel like could be a hindrance to you, or that could come back, to haunt you. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. It's like I get what y'all saying is like our private lives are our private lives, but you got to be careful what you putting out there because, like I said, the internet and this technological shit is forever. Once you put it out there, everybody can get their hands on it. You know what I'm saying? And you really can't control who else sees it. Because, like I said, if I send any one of y'all an email on this panel, if y'all decide y'all want to forward that email to somebody else, y'all could do that. And ain't nothing I could do about it. So I think that's where he messed up at. Again, this should have been a conversation that he had with somebody behind the scenes, not on email, not on paper, not on anything to where it could be traced. That's where he messed up at, period. And I think, people are, they're not understanding that. And like I said, at the end of the day, the NFL is a brand and they're going to always protect the brand first and foremost before anything else. So if you think that they care about, your personal little privacy or whatever, when, they got millions and billions of dollars on the line over their brand being tarnished, they're going to always pick themselves over you. So like people got to realize it. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but I want to say this probably was like 2015. I want to say, I don't know if y'all remember, but the Los Angeles Clippers basketball owner at the time, this dude named Donald Sterling. I don't know if y'all remember that story. He was talking to his woman or his girlfriend at the time, and he was talking to her in the privacy of their own home. Now she was secretly recording him, and he said a whole bunch of racist stuff about a bunch of. I think he said something racist about Magic Johnson. I forgot exactly what he said, but he said something racist and derogatory about Magic
Oh
Johnson.
yeah, he was like, "Why you be with them N-words?" Now he was racist. He was saying some racist stuff.
But the point I'm trying to get to is he said it privately in the privacy of his own home. Now, unbeknownst to him, his woman was recording him and he didn't even know it. And she ended up giving that tape over to the league. And guess what? It caused so much of a frenzy that the league basically forced him to sell his team, which was his team. They forced him. Like I said, this was a private matter to where it wasn't on paper. It was it got recorded without his knowledge, which most cases that would get thrown out in court because that's invasion of your privacy rights. But because it was such a big deal in the media and because it was such an outrage that they like, damn, we finally have a racist owner like called up on tape saying it out of his own mouth. This is his voice. The league had to do something about it because if they didn't, it was going to cause more and more bad headlines and publicity for the NBA. So they basically forced this man to sell his team and get up out of
But
there.
that situation, third, the girl, as soon as she heard him say that, she put it out like quick, ASAP. Like she didn't hold it for no 10 years or 5 years.
But the point I'm making,
recorded him, put it up probably the next week or so.
The point I'm making is if you can't even have a private conversation in the privacy of your own home and tell whoever you're talking to in your home about it without it being recorded and somebody and like I said, it never was on paper, then what makes you think somebody sending out a email which could be easily traced? What makes you think that that's not going to get held liable for slander and all kind of heinous type of remarks and stuff? Like that's what I'm saying.
I just know everybody says something racist. I know I probably work for somebody, not probably. I do probably know somebody that says some racist stuff that work for it. Bosses, it don't matter. Managers, everybody says something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much for speech policing. I think people have a right to say what they want to say, but I guess it's within context. I don't know.
Like the guy, Glendon Cameron, the YouTuber, who said he, I guess, messed with little girls or 17-year-old girls. I think everybody on the panel will say, no, we'll fire him, even if it was 10 years ago, he said something like that. I think it's certain things that we can't let slide or let pass, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you come to my job and you saying, you come to my shop and you saying the shit he was saying, oh, you're out of there. You out of there before you even finish the fucking sentence. As soon as I see where you're going, you're out of there. I mean, you are out of there.
This is what I think is the problem with all of this. So my question is, as an adult, why did he even feel the need to actually send an email talking about another man's lips? I just feel like it was other stuff that he could worry about. That has nothing to do, like, what was the point? Why are you even looking at this dude's lips anyway? So, like Third said, if you emailed it to somebody, it's a possibility that they could get out. And just like the woman that y'all talking about just now, who recorded the dude saying all of this stuff, and then she put it out. The problem is that we're forgetting that in human nature, if I know that somebody says something negative about me, no matter how shallow, no matter how deep, if I know that that's how they feel, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to do business with them. So the NFL probably felt like, okay, well, that can be how he feels. But if people start to boycott us and my money starts to dip because they don't want to be around you or support nothing that you are doing, because I don't want to purchase anything from a person that looks down on black people because I am black. Why would I give them my money? I get to use my money to support what I feel like is best. He can have his opinion. Okay, but that doesn't mean I have to contribute to his lifestyle, living his way, and feeling like I'm negative. Get the money out of people who you feel like are positive. Then I get to do that with my money. So if the public does that, the NFL says, "Well, look, okay, well, if you start to affect our bottom line, you got to go." So I don't understand why people even like y'all act like y'all can't get that. You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, well, we can't police what people say and what they think." No, you can't. But I don't have to be around it. I don't have to like it. I'm not going to say, like, I don't think that means that we're being sensitive if I don't want to do business with somebody who feels like black people are ugly. Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with the business that we're doing, but I still don't want to sit there next to this person knowing that that's what they're thinking about. Because as an adult, you also could live a life where that's not something that's important to you. What difference does it make?
Well, I'll say this to address Deborah in the chat. It's not. I don't really care about what people say, but at the end of the day, you know, like I said, when you're working for somebody else, these big corporate companies and entities, what you say has major consequences for that. You know what I'm saying? So we see it all the time, whether it's the players, whether it's the coaches. The only people in this whole situation that can possibly get away with some type of stuff like this from time to time is the owners. Even though I just recently addressed the whole Donald Sterling thing, you know, that was the one example that we saw where an owner actually publicly got held accountable. And, you know, it majorly cost him his team and his investment for something that he said in private. Now, most situations when owners say things like that, it usually doesn't go that way. They might get a little fine or whatever, and that's usually how it goes. But I don't care about what people say. But again, when you're working for somebody else in these big corporate companies, you know, they got to protect their investment. They got to protect, you know, the image and the perception of what their league is. So at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do, whatever it takes. And you can like it, you can not like it, but that's just what it's going to be. And you got to understand these leagues are getting represented and sponsored by these big name companies, you know, Anaheim, you know, Budweiser and all this stuff. And, you know, when they're getting these big monies from these big sponsors and stuff, you know, these sponsors want to see certain type of things and they don't want to associate themselves with certain scandals and stuff like that. So the league is all these different sports leagues are always going to protect the league and their brand first. It doesn't matter if somebody got to be a sacrificial lamb to save the prestige and save the perception of the league, then that's what's going to happen. And my thing is this: if you want to be able to have the right to say whatever the hell you want to say without it being any consequences, then be your own boss, be your own entrepreneur, and don't work for nobody else. Because when you work for somebody else, you know, yes, you know, we have freedom of speech, but even when we, you know, work for these jobs and stuff, there's only so much freedom that you have. You can't say whatever you want at the job. You can't do whatever you want to do at the job because there are consequences for that. And shout out to King Sigma. I seen him up here not too long ago with you, T.P.O.T.
Yeah.
But he said something that really caught my attention. He said a lot of these jobs nowadays, particularly these corporate jobs, when you go apply for these jobs and go get an interview, they be asking you, do you have any social media accounts? Because they want to see
they
what
want to
you're
see
posting.
that Facebook. Yeah, they want to see that Facebook.
Yeah, they want to see what you're posting because they want to see if whatever it is that you're posting is going to be a detriment to their brand and to their company. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, that's going too far. You're crossing the line. That's invasion of privacy. Yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, we all know that when you work for somebody else, they make the rules and you got to abide by them and follow them. If you're not, then, hey, do something else. Do something where can't nobody tell you what to do and can't nobody hold accountable for the shit that you say. I mean, that's the best way I could explain it.
And let me say this. So we care about what people think and what they feel. Like, so the reason why is because so as a man think, so is he. That's because how do we know that him just thinking this, that he's never going to act on it? You know, if he's that worried about, like, that's a shallow thing to be thinking of while you at work. That's very shallow. Why do you even care? So if he's thinking that way, how can we guarantee that he's never going to act on that? And
Well,
second of all,
well, let me just jump in, Lady Topaz, because what if I own I own a corporation, and you know you work for me, and I find out that you said cracker back 10 years ago in your house. Somebody told me or recorded you saying cracker. And I call you into the office and be like, I got this tape, Lady Topaz, where you was talking about white folks and calling them crackers. You do realize that we got white folks on our board, and I let them listen to the tape, and they want me to let you go. Would that be all right?
I mean, I wouldn't like it, but I'd have to accept it. And then, like, see, this is the thing. This is what the world is, okay? Like, I'm sorry. I agree with y'all that we shouldn't have to be, worried about our personal opinions or whatever, but that's just not how life works. People do have emotions and they do act on emotions. So if I was saying cracker on a stream somewhere and then I work for a company and their board hears me saying it, if they don't like the fact that I said it, they are within their rights to fire me. They can. It's their business. They own it. They can do what they want. And they don't have to work around people that they feel like don't respect them. It happens all of the time. That's what life is. So if we know that, why not focus on what you actually at the job to do? Why even be concerned with something like that? And so do I worry about if that comes to bite me? Well, you got to know certain stuff before you say it. People get judged by stuff that they thought was going to remain private all of the time. It's all kind of beefs and arguments that start because when you was cool with somebody, you may have expressed an opinion. You wanted to get that off your chest. To me, the problem is the fact that you're thinking about that instead of just living your life. If you're not dating this man, why do you care what his lips look like? So that was the problem for me. The fact that that's even something that is in your interest. Why don't you go up there, do your job, and go home? Be around chicks that don't have huge lips, and then you don't have these kind of problems.
Prophet of thought. That's funny you said that because I just played them a clip on the show. Charlemagne actually saying cracker at John Gruden. He didn't get fired. He still got his job.
Oh,
So
yeah,
black privilege.
He says crack all the time.
Nobody has no problems with him doing it.
But again, Brandon, he's just the exception to the rule. How many people do we know? Black people like that's in entertainment, that's in, working for
Harris Spears. Harris Spears on Mad TV. You say it all the time when he did his little skit called.
Bro, you bringing up again.
I've never seen a white man keep a job saying the N-word. I'm saying I haven't.
What I'm saying is certain people, yes, might get away with it, but overall, the majority, if you go up on public radio air stations and the radio stations have these things called FCC laws where there's certain things that you can't say. And if you say it, they will boot your ass up out of there because they have to keep their revenue. They have to keep their sponsors and all that. And none of that, like, people don't understand, like, it's not about you. It's about the company. The company's always going to put themselves first. It's not about the people. You just work for the damn company. But at the end of the day, if it's them and they bottom dollar or they bottom line and you, guess who they're going to be put on the chopping block? It's going to be you, not them. So, again, once people understand that, then people could stop, feeling some kind of way about it. But I will say this though, at the end of the day, matter of fact, perfect example. I remember Nick Cannon lost his TV show because of an interview that he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said some stuff, that they didn't sit well. And what did they do? They canceled his ass for a little minute. I think he's back on now, but he got canceled for a minute. They made him sit down, they put him on ice, made him think about it, and now they finally gave it back to him. But when you're working for someone, when you
had to do sensitivity training in the whole nine.
Exactly. When you're working for somebody else and when you're working for the man, you put yourself in a position to where you can't really say the things that you want to say or do the things that you want to do. And shout out to Gabe Bay. He said, whether you're working for yourself and working, for somebody else, is an entity that you're going to have to answer to. And I agree with that. But, when you have your own business and you're an entrepreneur, you kind of have way more freedom and leg room to say and do what you want to do. Now, can you still, F that up, and F up your business and the reputation of your business by doing some goofy stuff? Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you're your own boss, can't nobody get rid of you for an opinion that you have. They may not be popular or PC per se, but when you're working for a major company, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're going to get rid of you if it affects their bottom line or if it affects the reputation of their business, point blank, period.
Absolutely. I mean, because
Facts, facts.
I mean, I've been running my business for almost 8 years. So, I don't answer to shit as far as personal people, but I still have to answer to the state. I still have to answer to the county, for my permits, my licenses, and I have to follow certain ordinances because if I don't, they can pull my license, they can pull my permit. So,
And they can shut you down.
oh yeah, they can shut my shit down. So, I still have to answer to them. Now, whether or not if they see me somewhere saying cracker, I don't think they can do it for that. But, if I do something, within the line of my business, like if I'm using the wrong type of chemicals or I'm doing something that my permit doesn't cover or my license doesn't cover, they can pull my shit. So in a sense, I can't do everything I want to do. I can do whatever, is within the guidelines of the licenses and permits that I hold according to the state and county ordinances. So there is that. So if we okay, say we say, all right, fine. If you said some bullshit 10 years ago, we're gonna fire your ass. Where do we stop? I mean, what things do we police? Do we just police racism? Do we police misogyny? Do we police vanity because you said somebody had a big head, or you said they was ugly, or you didn't like the clothes they wore? I mean, where do we stop with the policing? Where do we stop?
I get what you're saying, and it's almost getting to the point to where like you got to really just keep stuff to yourself. Now I know that's a horrible way to live, to not be able to express yourself the way you want to when you want to, but it's getting to the point to where you got to really just keep stuff to yourself, because any little thing that you say can really get you in hot water, especially as a black person, but particularly a black man. You say the wrong thing, you even sneeze the wrong way, like they getting you up out of there. So my thing is, to the fellas out here, watch what you say, watch who you saying it to, and if I was you, do not put nothing out there on paper or anywhere on the web to where it can get traced back to you. That would be my best advice, because once it's out there and they got proof that it's you or came from you, your ass is grass at that point. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's just something that you tell somebody in confidence behind the scenes, then you can play the whole he say, she say game. But for the most part, when you're working for these different companies and stuff, you really, for the most part, man, you handcuff on what you can say and what you can't say and what you can do and what you can't do. I mean, that's just how it goes. I don't make the rules up. I'm just telling you from what I know. And, I work in the medical industry, and I can tell you this for a fact. Let me go up in the, where I work at. Let me go up in there talking about, just going in on, the vaccine and how I think it's BS and all of that, which, I do. But let me just go up in my job talking about that and expressing how I really feel about the vaccine. Watch what they're going to do to my black ass. They're going to get me up out of there real quick.
Yeah, you're out of there. You're out of there.
Well, I just feel like once you get grown, you should have more important things to think about. Like I don't. Okay, you don't have to. If you say something behind the scenes, even if there is no tape recording or whatever, that person can still go decide to confide in somebody else about what they heard you say, what they know that you think. So my thing for me, it's just a waste of time to even go down that thought process. When I go to work, I'm not comparing nobody's features, because for what? What's the point? And even if I did not have a good opinion about somebody, what do they got to do with what I'm here for? So I'm trying to figure out.
A lot of guys do.
This predicament.
A lot of guys do crack on each other, make fun of each other, call each other ugly. I done seen that before at jobs. Guys be roasting each other, whatever. But as far as like name calling, no, I don't have a problem with that. But now, let's say if I have a female employee and she worked for me, she's a black woman, but y'all show me a clip of her talking about some abort all black babies, black male babies. She's fired. She's out of here.
Oh yeah,
that's how I look at things.
I would
You,
have
But
to
wait,
you
agree.
say
but
something.
that's the
You say
personal
something.
opinion.
No. See, that's why I said it's to a certain extent. That's I do police what people say. If you're around me as a man or a woman talking about some you like little boys or little girls, you're fired. I don't care
Oh
if it was
yeah,
10 or 20 years ago.
yeah,
You're
you're
gone.
gone.
Now, if
But
you
Well,
why
we
name
y'all
calling
act
talking
like
about
black
somebody,
people are the only people that have feelings about what people think about us? You can't go and tell any person of a certain nationality, I mean not nationality, but of a certain culture that that Hitler was allowed to practice his own opinions. That's what he wanted for the country he was running. And see, don't they call like they will get all in their feelings. They will ruin everything that they have that and they get to because that's how they feel. They don't like that you said that. They don't like that you hold that opinion, and they don't want nothing to do with you. And they are willing to watch you twist and win until you apologize. Other cultures have that. You can't go to them talking crazy about them however you feel. If anything that if they're not in control of you, you better not ever need them. And they don't forget it. So why is it that black people we trying to act like it means we're above it all, but no other group practices that? Why do we have to sit there
the
and
guy
say,
that
"Oh,
played in
we okay with it. I don't care what they think, whatever. That makes us stronger or whatever, whatever." Why?
well, the guy that played in Seinfeld, he had to apologize to black people. A lot of people actually had to apologize for saying racist stuff about blacks. John Gruden even did it, even though he wasn't fired, but he did apologize.
But that's the world we live in. Like people are gonna have, if you have an opinion about somebody, people are gonna have an opinion about that opinion, and it just snowballs from there. So therefore, why even go down that path? I show up,
well,
I do what I'm supposed to do, and I go on by my way. If I don't like something, I'm gonna not be around it. I'm gonna limit my time around it, and then I'm gonna go be around the stuff that I actually like more. And that's how I control the temperature around me. I'm not gonna sit there and have no whole conversation about what I think about somebody else. So have I said something offensive to people? Yeah, but it wasn't meant to be offensive. And I do apologize if it offended them. Because that's how they felt about it. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. But I don't just make it a habit to go around mentioning stuff that some things we know people are going to be offended by. If you call somebody ugly, you know they're going to be offended by it. Brandon, in terms of your example earlier, if all of the people at work are cool with joking around and ranking on each other, that's way different. But they didn't know each other. This is a stranger just saying it. This ain't somebody like you cool with and you rank on them back. That's not what this is. This was him saying something privately. So he's secretly judging this man's looks to somebody else. Like that's something that he wasn't involved in.
so you can only roast people in their face. You can't roast them on your email.
I mean, I personally feel like it's the best route to go. I mean, because otherwise, now you run the risk of them finding out about it later. And stuff is always worse when you find out about it later. And when somebody tries to cover it up and then you happen to find out.
So my thing is this real quick, Topaz, one more thing. Nas was talking about Jay-Z's lips in that song, in the Ether disc. He was talking about his lips. So was he, I guess you're trying to say John Gruden is rainbow?
No, because Jay-Z started it.
Well, I would say this, that's rap. You know what I'm saying? The thing about what John Gruden did bro, you work for a public brand that's known all over this country. So it's like everybody knows in the music industry, particularly the rap industry, the shit that they do over there is totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like what makes rap so great is that it's not PC and it's not police the same way that any other type of corporate job is monitored. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree with that too, Third, because rappers got to apologize for saying certain stuff too. Like for instance, I want to play that video with Too Short where he did a whole 9-minute apology to black women.
Well, that's now because, and I'm about to get to that because that's the day and age and the era that we live in now. See, back in the day, things was different. You had more freedom to say whatever the hell you want to say, and there was no repercussions. Now, you say anything, even if, you say something that's not offensive, like to what Too Short said, basically him saying that he preferred to be with mixed women or mixed women was his preference. And, everybody now, to me, that's ridiculous. That's really crossing the line because it's like, okay, now you're telling me what type of, person I should be with, who I should be attracted to. To me, that's really caught. But, there's a difference between that and saying some racial, derogatory, sexual type of remorse. Like, that's two different things. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want to put those in the same boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will say this, we live in a time and era now to where, you know, everything is so PC now. We live in this participation trophy type of award. And so it's like it's almost like nobody wants to, you can't be an individual. You have to more or less conform to what everybody else is doing. And when you try to be, somebody, on your own without, the likeness of the whole group, then they want to come down hard on you for it. But that's why, like I said, you can't be working for no big entities like the NFL, the NBA, and all these other type of companies, because again, it's their brand and their bottom line, that's, at risk over your job. And they're going to always, get rid of you before they, risk losing any money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if most people know this, but ESPN, the sports network, is owned by Disney. We all know Disney is known as a, even though there's more to Disney than meets the eye, but I'm not going to get into that. But, on the surface, Disney's known as a family type of, entity or whatnot. A lot of kids love Disney from the movies, and then you got theme parks, whatever. Let one of these sportscasters on ESPN that's owned by Disney go up in there and say whatever the hell they want to say. Watch they get pulled off of ESPN so quick, because, again, it's owned by Disney, and they have certain rules and regulations that people must abide by if they want to continue to work there and make money. And to add to T.P.O.T's point real quick, and I'm going to pass the mic, what he was explaining about how there's certain rules that he has to follow, especially when it comes to like the state and stuff. There are two words that describe what he basically was, saying. It's, those two words are protocols and guidelines. When you work for somebody else, when somebody else is over you, you have to abide by the protocol and the guidelines, because if not, again, like T.P.O.T said, you could be at risk of losing your business, or, them trying to shut you down. And if that's what you want to do, because you want to be on some, I can do whatever the hell I want, then hey, go for it. But just know, when they shut you down, just know that you was asking for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
And let me say this, because I want to address what Brandon said, right? So now in his example, now I actually think that that's the way that this should have went. The guy he was talking about should have responded with his own diss. And so if this would have happened to me, y'all wouldn't be up here talking about whether he was right or wrong. Y'all would be up there talking about whether both our asses need to be fired. Because I would say something bad the same way he did.
It made Randy Moss cry. I said Randy Moss was crying after he heard it. So I said Randy Moss was crying after he heard it.
Now that I think is just extra. Like, what are you crying for? So what? Because another man don't find you attractive. That, to me,
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I actually had that happen to me one day at work. So, like, they was having water day for the kids that we were working with that day, and so I told the other staff, like, don't get my hair wet. And so this Hispanic dude was like, it's cool. We know black people can't swim. And so I just said to him, well, shit, we know Mexicans can. And then everybody was laughing. So now we both could have got in trouble for that shit. But I didn't sit around crying about it. And I didn't go tell my supervisor, because I'm going to handle it. Like, what's your point? So for me, exactly. I wouldn't need to call nobody in. I would have handled it myself.
But isn't it? It's based on, I guess, who you offend and how many people you offend. I think that's where it kind of narrows down to, because we were just talking about a few minutes ago. I mean, Charlemagne says cracker a lot, and he's still sitting right up there, right on the Breakfast Club. So it obviously doesn't matter if he says that, because he's been saying that for a while. He's got something called he used to do something called the crack or something or another. So,
but
I mean,
you know why they don't fire him? Because they're willing to let him say those things, because it brings in money from the audience that he's talking to. The minute that stops being profitable, they're going to get rid of him with the quickness. So
Facts.
That's because of the job that he's in. He is a shock jock. He says the most outlandish things so that people can tune in. So nobody actually is mad at him saying that. And think about it. There is a difference in us saying something derogatory about white people, because in the past, history has shown us that when white people feel bad about something, feel negative towards black people, they had the power to do something about it. So Charlemagne calling the people that sign his checks crackers, they're only able to sign his checks because we tune in to hear him say it So technically, we are the ones paying his checks, and it's the money just cycling through, and they take a skim off the top. They don't care. When you got the NFL, people will start boycotting your games. People will not purchase your merchandise. You'll
Why
lose
you think they had to get
sponsorship.
rid of? Why you think they had to get rid of Colin Kaepernick? Because a lot of
Exactly.
people got pissed off when he started doing and all he didn't even do nowhere near the stuff that John Gruden did and said. All he did was take a knee, and people, you know, and especially the white people who was watching it the NFL at that time, they got so mad and offended because what happened is by him doing that, it caused this, it took away from the actual game of the NFL and it made it more about the politics of what he was saying. And, a lot of men didn't like that because we watch sports to be entertained and to get away from, our everyday normal life, so sports is like an outlet and a getaway. And now every damn sports station that you turn on, they talking about this, political justice type stuff when that's not what we watch Sports Center for or these sports networks for. If we want to watch that type of stuff, we'll just turn on CNN or Fox or whatever, MSNBC, whatever it is that we watch to get those type of political information. And so a lot of people was mad and pissed about that, and the numbers started to dwindle each week. So they had to do something about it. What they do, they got him up out of there. They blackballed him. And like I said, all he did was take a knee and bring light to different little situations. And, so if he could get punished for that, why the hell shouldn't John Gruden get punished for sending out an email that had racist rhetoric and, what they consider, misogynistic or, sexual deviant type of, rhetoric in the email, especially if you're doing it on the company's email. Like, I don't get that. And let me say this too. Nowadays we live in a society to where, there's a thing now called cyberbullying, right? Which I kind of have an issue with that. And the reason why is because to me, like, okay, I'm gonna just use me as an example, right? There's people in this space that don't like me, that be trolling me, saying all kind of things about me, right? And
You a simp.
You were way too excited to holler that out.
They be saying all kind of stuff about me, right?
You always be flirting with women.
I even got a little troll account of me floating around here, time to time trolling me and stuff, right? But at the end of the day, I don't take it personal or serious. Like, it is what it is. And, that's what people on the internet and on social media do. You know what I'm saying? And, the thing is like, you've gotten people that have told each other stuff like, I forgot what, it was a case where, these white kids were, they was like, on, social media, some social media platform. And, one of the dudes told, somebody else that, you should go kill yourself or something like that, right? And the person that he told that to actually did it, and he ended up getting held accountable for that and ended up going to jail for that. And my thing is like, yeah, he might have told him to do it, but you still didn't have to do it. The other guy on the other end didn't have to do it. Like, just because somebody tell me to do something don't mean I got to do it. But at that moment, though, I'm realizing, I'm like, okay, so if somebody like this can get in trouble and held accountable for that, then you damn right, somebody else saying some other stuff can get them in trouble too. So it's like, you right, T.P.O.T. It's like there is no in between, or it's like it's either all the way. It's either on all the way on one end or all the way on the other end, but there's no in between anymore.
Nope. Let me do this for you Negroes out there. Get on down there, man, and check out my folks at For the Record TV. As you can see, they do a lot of work down there, way more videos than my black ass is willing to do. And goddamn it, they be doing a lot of good shit down there, man. They talk about trending topics, man. They talk about sports. They talk about everything, man. So get on down there, man. Hit the goddamn subscribe button like I have, see Negroes. And I also have hit the bell as well. Get down there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, holla at them. Get their count up, Negroes, you lazy black asses. Go ahead, hit the goddamn buttons, Negroes. All right? If you ain't gonna get down there and subscribe to my folks, stop watching my shit. How about that? Stop watching my shit, Negroes. But I want to talk to y'all about a couple things tonight. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and run these clips that brother Brandon L. I mean, Bitcoin L. I don't know why I just want to say Brandon all the goddamn time.
Everybody still call me that to this day, man. I don't know why. My name is
I don't know
Bitcoin
why.
L, man.
Yeah,
I was fucking with
Bitcoin.
Look, your mama named you
Bitcoin
Brandon. I'm gonna call you Brandon. Okay.
that.
But I
So real
want to
quick,
run
T-Pop,
these
real
clips.
quick, I was gonna say, play
Go
the.
ahead.
We're just gonna play that Too Short one. I guess we ain't gotta do all of them.
Okay.
I guess we run out of time. But
You
yeah,
wanna
just play
do
the Too Short.
The Saudi and Too Short one you want to run, right?
Right.
Just run that one? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Y'all got to give me a minute. Y'all know I'm old, so. I just had shit up too. Crazy enough. All right. Here we go. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use. Oh, shit. I got it turned off. My bad, y'all. I think I got it silenced.
Before you can say her name, be like, hey, what you mix with?
Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Definitely mixed with something. And they would get mad. But in the Bay, you can meet a girl before you can say her name, be like, hey, what you mix with? And she'd probably tell you that her mama's this, her daddy's that. And mixed heritage women have always been my favorite. Like, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a woman that wasn't mixed.
Really?
And the Bay did that to me.
Really?
Because it's something you get. I feel that way about life, too. Like biracial.
Short Dog told Saweetie about his love of mixed women in the video, and after it went viral, Saweetie was criticized for her reaction. Those old social media clips have often caused a ruckus online for artists, and Saweetie is feeling the wrath of the public. When people find old posts or interviews that rub them the wrong way, it isn't difficult for a resurfaced moment from yesteryear to return with a vengeance. Things that artists...
Well, hold up a second. Let's talk about that. Because this is what we're talking about now, right? Because that's some older stuff, or is it not? Right? So somebody can go into your old stuff, your old media, look at it and be like, oh, you said this back in 2010. God damn it. So we canceling your concert. We canceling your appearance. We're taking your endorsement. I mean, that's why I say, how far do we go? I mean, now we're talking about a person's preference now, all right? Because he said, he liked light-skinned yellow chicks or whatever.
And this is where it goes too far. This is where it goes too far for me. Now, like I said, going in on somebody because of their sexuality or, their race and stuff, that's one thing. But this is like, to me, this is way out of bounds right here. Because it's basically, you like, how can you tell me what the hell I should be attracted to? That's like me trying to tell you what the hell, I think you should eat for breakfast in the morning. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So if I get endorsed by a company that makes apple juice and they go into my social media and find out that I said I like a peach pie over apple pie, do I lose that fucking endorsement now that I work for the Apple company? Like, I mean, that's what we kind of talking about, though. It seems like it's extreme, but that's kind of what we're talking about. Or should I say that's where we're headed?
Right. But here's the thing. What you have to understand is, right, if you work for a company that is based around apples and they pull up old tape of you saying that you like something else better than that, that does affect their money. Because you're the spokesperson. They're getting money for you telling people that apples are the most amazing fruit ever. So if somebody finds evidence that you don't truly believe that, it makes them look like they hired a liar.
Yeah, but Lady Topaz, I believed that 10 years ago. Doesn't mean I believe it now, right?
And that's what you say. And that to me is a decent defense. Like I used to think that because of whatever the reason, and now this is what happened and I changed my mind, and then we move on. Like that I can understand, but you can't have a problem with people bringing it up. They're gonna have questions, because if you used to think that, I need to know, do you still think that? Why you
Tip-Out, you ain't gotta play the rest of that video. You can take it down. You can take that video down.
I will say this to add to Topaz's point. This, like, for instance, right, a lot of these whether it's athletes or artists, entertainer, right, let's say they get a endorsement deal with a company like Nike or Adidas or Reebok, right? Now, what'll happen is they'll get the money and they'll get a whole bunch of shoes. And let's say one of these shoe companies decided they want to give them their own shoe, right? Well, what'll happen is they'll get their own shoe, they'll get the money for it, right? And what'll happen is that, when they out in public, especially like in public type of events where there's going to be camera and the media stuff, they want these, athletes and these entertainers to wear mostly their brand and their brand only. So, if a guy has a deal with Adidas and he has his own shoe with Adidas, they want him to rock nothing but Adidas gear. Like when he goes out to whatever public event, media event, whatever, they want him to wear like mostly Adidas stuff. If he goes out there and he wears, their rival brands like Nike or Reebok or whatever, they're going to look at that as like a conflict of interest because they like, you signed to us, we gave you all this money, why are you promoting our rival brands and when you should be rocking our stuff? Now, I'm not saying that they can't ever wear other stuff or other brands, but I'm just saying that's usually how it goes. So what Topaz was saying is correct. Yes, you could be working for an Apple company years ago. You could have been, let's say, you thought that Cantaloupe was the best thing. If they feel like you have a conflict of interest with, representing their brand, which is apples with cantaloupes, they gonna come talk to you about it. They're gonna be like, what are you doing? You supposed to be pushing this, not that.
And here's the reason why, though. They do that because if the cantaloupe company catch your ass out there eating cantaloupes, they can use that and say, look, even our competition likes our stuff. So, like, you got to understand, like, a lot of times when you get, sponsorships, you are banned from interacting with or being caught in, the competitors' items. And that's the reason why. Is because now you're giving them a way to take the customers away. And you have to understand that before you sign the contract.
Well, it didn't work for Rick Ross because y'all recall he did a song called You Ain't Even Know It. And in the song, he was like, I put Molly all in her champagne. She didn't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that. She didn't even know it. And he got shut down by Reeboks. I guess they cut him off on that. They couldn't work with him. But now he's with Wingstop and he's successful now. So sometimes guys do get passed for it.
You basically proving my point on what I said earlier. Like at the end of the day, look, Rick Ross he's a rapper, right? Now he doesn't have to abide by the same rules that most, everyday 9-to-5ers have to abide by, right? But at the same time, one little line that he said in a rap song that was deemed inappropriate made him lose his shoe endorsement deal with Reebok. That's some powerful stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? One line, you know what I'm saying? And so it just goes to show you if a celebrity can have that happen to him, how the hell are these regular, everyday non-celebrities that's out here? Why shouldn't they be held accountable? Or how are they not going to be held accountable if you got a celebrity that's going to get held accountable for something like that?
I'm just saying, if your job, see the stuff on your phone, see your text messages or emails, and they see stuff they don't like, they're going to fire you on the spot. I mean, I agree with you saying, but it don't matter if you're public figure or not. They see something on there, you talking racist or homophobic, you're out of here.
And let's be honest, bro. A lot of people that have YouTube accounts or that have channels on here, and let's say they don't have their own business and they work for somebody else, you're not going to come on here and name your channel your full government name. You're just not going to do it because you don't want the job that you work for to know what you talk. Because I'm not going to lie, sometimes we be talking about some crazy, wild stuff on here or stuff that in the mainstream wouldn't be considered to be PC. And so a lot of people come on here with fake names, aliases, whatever. And, they do that because they do that purposely because they know, like, damn, if my job find out about this or if they see this, my ass could be grass or,
yeah. People say a lot of crap on here that they don't want their job hearing them say, boy.
Exactly.
Believe that.
Exactly. So this is why they come up on here. Their name could be whatever. And, and that's what it is. They're not going to put their real government name unless you're somebody like maybe like a T.P.O.T or somebody who has their own business and they ain't got to worry about somebody firing them. Then you got a little bit more leeway and freedom to kind of just do what the hell you want to do, just as long as it falls under certain guidelines. But if you know that you have a job and they could just look up your stuff at any given time, you're not gonna put your personal name on here because it'll be too easy for them to look you up. And then you come up and you come to work the next morning, they be like, we need to see you in the office. You're like, what the hell going on? You go back in the office.
But
You was talking some craziness last week.
Yeah, they got you pulled up on the computer screen.
But even when you an entrepreneur, you answer to your customer, your consumer base. So because I'm gonna say it like this: y'all see all of these people, so in terms of women, hairstylists, when they be talking crazy on YouTube, they will be exposed, and then all their clients stop coming to them. The women that's selling stuff, like let's say you're a seamstress and you make clothes. How many of the designers have gotten in trouble about posts and things that they feel? What happened when we heard about the maker of Jabot jeans? Are y'all old enough to know about that? People
No, I don't know about that.
Hold on, Topaz. I got a better one than that. Hold on, Topaz. I got a better one than that. Look, hold on. I got a better one than that, Topaz. Remember what happened to Tommy Hilfiger when when he said the wrong thing? Remember people boycotted his clothing line?
He didn't design his clothes for black people to wear them. He doesn't want black people in his clothes.
I hate to bust y'all bubbles, but that was not true. That was a rumor. It wasn't true. It's not true.
But that's the point, though. Even though it was a rumor, it still had an impact. He still lost some business until people found out that it was a rumor.
But if we could be honest, like, okay, let's use Michael Jordan for example. He has this reputation of saying he don't really like the young guys, the rappers, and I guess the black community, whatever. But we still go out there, rob, steal, and kill each other for them damn J's, them Jordans. Asian people, they can say they can't stand black women or whatever. Black women still gonna go in there, buying weave, buying all the stuff, making them rich. So if they really like the product or whatever they selling, no matter if the person is saying some racist stuff about them, people still gonna buy it.
But you have to take the gamble on whether or not you have a product that people are going to feel that way about. Now, when you come up with a product that people have to have no matter what, then, that at that moment, you now can do and say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But are you willing to take that gamble?
I agree. I
look at it like this. We always say we go to those upscale stores like Louis Vuitton or Gucci. They can't stand us. Every time I go to them stores, they always be watching me, but you still purchase. You still spend your money there.
Yeah, even though they follow you all around the store. Let me get into this because we were talking about the other day. Well, a few days ago, we were talking about this Cameron guy. We were talking about Kelly. We were talking about Polite. We were talking about all these dudes. And even with this guy coming on saying what he was saying on the internet. Now, like I said, I'm not much for speech policing, right? But this is the thing. We have the right to free speech, but you still can't yell fire in a crowded theater. So at what point do we stop people from saying the stuff that these guys say? Because I was watching a clip. I was telling my man about this earlier. I was watching a clip of R. Kelly, and I probably should have put it up here, but the shit he was saying, I just thought was absurd. And he was sitting with a reporter, and it was old, man. This is an old shady clip when they was using like 16 millimeter film. And the reporter was sitting with him, and he was asking him, do you like teenage girls? And this was during the time where he was, going through his trial, with this other young girl. And he answered, well, what do you mean? When you say, what kind of teenage girls you talking about? Now, he said that, right? Now, he has freedom of speech. He answered the question the way he wanted to answer it. But do we stop guys like him, like this Cameron guy? Do we stop them from saying the things they say online, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever? Do we stop that kind of speech in its tracks? That kind of speech, do we stop it?
Here's the thing.
Him, yes, because he was giving out the playbook on what type of women to go after if you were ready to exploit, young children. So him, yes, that is a problem. You don't get to go and give a whole play-by-play on how to get women to abuse. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just saying this. Like, okay, so people like me and you, we can't really stop anybody from coming on any platform and saying whatever the hell they want to say because we don't have that type of power or control. However, we may not be able to do that or have the power to do it, but if YouTube or Google or whoever, Facebook, whoever owns this, these platforms, decide what you're saying on their platform, keyword, their platform is harmful to their company, their image, or their likeness, guess what? They're gonna pull the plug on your ass, and ain't nothing you could do about it. I mean, you get people all the time up here. They get their channels terminated, get their channels suspended, all kind of stuff. Sometimes it's justifiable, and then other times it's not even really that bad. But the thing is like I said, when you on here on these platforms like that, you have to be PC to a certain degree because if not, what's going to happen is they're going to target you. They're going to keep messing with you. They're going to sabotage your channel, do whatever they can to make sure that you're not saying nothing that they deem to be not PC or not correct. Because like I said, all of this goes back to them trying to represent their brand in a certain type of manner to where they can still keep getting their sponsors their money and all that. And if you're a threat to that in any kind of way, that's what they're going to do. So I mean, that just I see it, and the whole R. Kelly thing, like, I mean, like he would have been better off not even saying anything. He would just be like, look, I'm not answering no questions. If y'all want to speak to somebody, I can speak to my representation. But sometimes even you saying things like, like what you said, he said, like, what do you mean? Like, something like that can be interpreted in so many different ways. So like, if you're not going to answer the question in a certain type of way to where it doesn't make you look bad, it's best you not say nothing at all, period.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is my thing. Oh, my bad,
crazy.
T.P.O.T. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, the thing is this, right? You got these dudes who say all this shit, right? And we talk about how we need to get them off media. We need to get Kelly off, Polite, Cameron off. But that's just the thing. The platforms that they are on, the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, they're not even throwing them off. So, I mean, how do we can't stop them if the very platform that they're spewing this garbage on can't stop them? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand?
Would you say it's the subscribers? Is it the people that support those channels? Would you say you have a problem with them too?
YouTube. We can't say, oh, well, like, are we going to write an email to YouTube saying, we need you to cancel this person's channel? They have already guidelines. So it's certain things on here you can't say.
Yeah.
You don't have a decision in that. They decide that on their own. Now, what I think T.P.O.T is asking is, what can we do to Glendon? Because if he hasn't violated YouTube services, they're not going to cancel him. But how do we get him off?
That's what I was saying. His supporters, they need to stop supporting him, but they still are. He's still getting, I guess, 100 or 200 views, live shows. So, people still donate to him. And as far as an old girl, Cynthia G was talking about abort black male babies, and she still get 1,000 views over there. So, I mean, people really don't care about kids like that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, they don't. I mean, don't get me started. God damn it, don't get me started. But shout out to my brother Nick Taylor for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, brother Nick Taylor. As always, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform.
Shout out to the OG Nick Taylor.
Oh yeah, that's my bro right there.
Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Nick Taylor.
That's my bro.
I want to respond to something he said a little bit earlier. So I don't know if y'all remember this, but who remembers the Ray Rice situation that happened years ago?
Oh,
The
when he
football, yeah, when he
knocked this girl out in the elevator, she was
elevator.
laying on the
Okay,
floor.
yeah, okay. So I remember right around that time when that whole situation happened, right? You know, at the time, every particular sports station that you can think of, you know, or show was talking about it, right? And I remember the brother Stephen A. Smith was talking about it on his show at the time, and he was talking to a female, coworker of his that worked on the set with him at that time, and they was talking about this Ray Rice situation, and she was, and then we all know, we seen the video, we all know that the wife, she hit him first, she came at him first, and he reacted, and so the woman that was on there was saying, oh, he's wrong, he shouldn't have put his hands on her, and he just punched her like a man, he was just so wrong, whatever. And Stephen A. Smith's response was, yes, he was wrong for doing that, he shouldn't have put his hands on her, period. But I think he said something to the effect, as a woman, when you put your hands on a man, even though a man shouldn't put his hands on you, you putting yourself in a position for a man to react or respond to you in that type of manner. Now, when he said that, that caused a big uproar for the women that work, on I think it was at ESPN, and the whole social media lit up. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is justifying putting his hands on women. A man should put their hands on women in a violent manner, no matter what, yada yada yada. Do you know his ass got suspended for that for like a good little minute? They suspended him. Now they didn't fire him, but they suspended him all because he was saying, like, look, I'm not saying that men should put their hands on women, but at the same time, a woman shouldn't put her hands on a man, because when you just punching up on a man and being violent towards a man, like, if it's only so much he gonna sit there and take, and eventually he might respond in the way that you don't want him to. And they suspended his ass for that, and that's what me and Nick Taylor were basically talking about in the chat. And this is what he said: he got suspended. Now, right after that, Whoopi Goldberg said the same thing that Stephen A. Smith said verbatim, said the same thing, but nothing happened to her when she said it, though. So do you see the discrepancy? This is why, as a man, particularly a black man, you got to watch what you say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it all depends on
Exactly.
who's being offensive and who's being offended. All that comes into play, because like you said, I mean, someone else can say the same exact thing and they won't say a damn thing. But as black men, especially high profile black men, you kind of walking on pins and needles, man, because they can yank you out of anywhere at any time over anything you say or do, because it's not just your words that'll get you jammed up, it's also your actions, if those actions offend the right people. But let me read this super chat. He said, I've yet to have someone tell me they ain't getting their car out of my impound yards over my YouTube videos. LOL. I could give a flip less, and I've been doxxed twice, and I am who I say I am. And also, shout out to my brother Sir Tice in the house with the 1999 super chat. It's right under the threshold of the grand coin drop, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, man, because it's only a penny. Because whenever you drop $20 or more on this channel, you get this. A big coin drop on this platform. And Brother Sir Tice says, salute to y'all. Yeah, man. It all.
Hey, if I could respond to that real quick, I want to simp for the ladies real quick. I want to simp for the ladies because Rachel Nicole,
for the ladies.
Rachel Nicole, the white chick on ESPN, she was fired for saying some things too. And another girl, Sage Steele, ESPN, she got removed for speaking her mind about the jab. And look what Nicki Minaj is going through. So women got to watch what they say too.
Oh yeah, they got to watch who they offend. They got to watch who they offend.
Facts.
You forgot to add one thing. When Rachel Nichols said what she said it in privacy. But guess what? Did that matter when they found out what she said? Nope. They still and this is a white woman. Mind you, it's not a black woman, black man. This is a white woman, and her ass still got held accountable and her feet got she basically got thrown in the fire with everybody else. So at
She
the
was
end of the
like
day,
kind of going at black women, right? The black workers, black
yeah,
female workers. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, bro, at this day and age, ain't nobody safe unless you a owner,
Nobody
unless you a
said. That's
boss.
all I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unless you a
Right.
boss or you a owner, ain't nobody safe. If you are an employee, you are not safe. So tread lightly and watch what you say, or just keep that shit to yourself. Because if not, hey man, you gonna be on the chopping block, and they do not care because it's their reputation and their bottom line over whatever the hell you think you deserve as an employee. I know it sucks that it's that way, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, keep your bigotry and your all that kind of stuff to yourself, man. Only talk about it when you by yourself out in the woods. When you wanna vent a little
Or
bit, walk out in the woods and
or
talk
or
about
or,
it.
or talk about it amongst the people that you could trust and the people that kind of share the same views as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, perfect example. Do you think, white men that are part of KKK, you think they're gonna discuss any of their type of rhetoric outside of that little circle with
Yeah,
somebody else? Hell no.
Well,
you
They're
no.
gonna
gotta
discuss it.
you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it top because we live in a digital age now.
Exactly.
And everybody got an iPhone.
Yep.
Everybody's recording every damn thing at every damn moment. So you never know when some of this stuff can come back to haunt you, man. I mean, it's unfortunate that it has to be this way. But if you have people to answer to, and like I said, especially high profile brothers, brothers that's like on, network television. I mean, they can't wait to find something to dig up on your ass to splash on the news and cause your ass to lose a 20-year freaking career. I'm telling you, it's an arm of Me Too.
As a matter of fact, I remember like a year or two ago, LeBron James, as big as he is, right? LeBron James was on Instagram. He uploaded a video of him singing some rap song in the car, and there was a line in there that said something about Jewish people and something about being kosher, right? And he was singing that on his Instagram, and he uploaded it to his Instagram page or whatever. He got so much flack for that, and all he was doing was just singing a song, and they made him apologize for it. The league and all of that. Once he went out there, and like I said, I don't think he meant it in a derogatory or he was just singing a song, lyrics to a song, but they made him apologize. And mind you, this is LeBron James we talking about. Somebody that has a lot of influence, a lot of power, but at the end of the day, there's still somebody even higher up than him that he has to answer to. And if the league and the people that cut his check say, "Hey, you got to get your ass up on TV and apologize because you can't offend the small heads because they're a small, powerful group," guess what his ass gonna do? He gonna go up there and apologize.
Yeah, you
Period.
But
got
do
to
you
say
ever hear
sorry.
anybody telling them, well, why do y'all care what people think?
Well, I think it matters. I think it matters who's doing the thinking, right?
Yeah,
Because some groups are more powerful than others.
right.
Some groups have more influence than others. If you piss off the wrong group and you answer to an employer, they're going to pressure that employer, and that employer is going to pressure you. So it all depends on who's doing the thinking about you. I mean, that's what it really boils down to. I'll say again, it's all about who's doing the offending and who's being offended. I mean, both of those things matter. So the more powerful the group, the more likely your ass gonna have to apologize or get fired.
And to
Right.
respond to the person that said in the chat, why do you care what people think? Most of the time we don't care what people think, but guess what? Your ass gonna care what they think if they cutting your ass a check. If they cutting
Oh
you a
yeah.
check and they helping you pay your bills and feed your family, you gonna care
Oh.
then.
Oh yeah, you're
Oh.
gonna care. They stop that check. They stop that check, boy. You're going to care. I mean,
Well, what I'm trying to get people to understand is that that's human nature. You don't want, who is excited to be around somebody that has a negative opinion of you, whether it's relative to what y'all interaction is or not. It's not normal for you to be excited about being around somebody that has a negative opinion of you anyway. And when you're not excited to be around somebody, the best you can hope for is indifference. But then when you make comments negative to that person, now it's no longer indifference. You now, like, if I were to tell y'all that, like, look, I don't find y'all attractive, y'all ugly, right? Then you aren't gonna be excited to be around me. And then it's no longer indifferent. You're going to want to be away from me.
Well, not really, because you say you don't like dark skinned guys, and I got a problem with you.
I ain't never said that,
I
bro.
got love for you.
See how the lies
Still my
coming
sister.
out. Find the timestamp.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
boys be doing the most.
Me and Old Make a Dread still got love for you, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. See, Brandon, I'm not
Your
dealing with you.
preference, I don't care about your preference.
Well,
Hey,
lady,
you my sister.
I will say this, Lady Topaz. I guess it becomes a problem once you know, right? Because
exactly,
if you work along somebody and say they're white or Latino or Asian or whatever, and then you found out that, 5-10 years ago, they wrote this blog saying, oh, I hate black folks, I hate anybody that's brown, I only like white people. You find that out, you're like being retroactively mad now, right? Because
you're not retroactively mad because you just found out. So for
Yeah.
you, it just happened.
hmm
Everybody else knew, but for you, like, it's not like you knew they said it 10 years ago and you had a delayed reaction. When you find out, that's when your reaction occurs. It's still within the time of a reasonable latency. You're not like waiting later on to then have an opinion about it. You can have an opinion right then and then not act on it for 10 years, sure, but you still had the opinion, you still had the reaction to it right then. And so my thing is, like I said in the chat earlier, it's fine for them to say that. If I don't know, I don't care. I'm still living my life. But once I know, now guess what my natural human reaction is going to be? I want to be away from this person. Like, we don't have to talk. If you don't like me, we don't have to talk. I don't want to look at you every day knowing that you're thinking in your head that I'm ugly. Like, why would I want to sit there listening to that? When I didn't know, I was just doing my job blissfully unaware. Once I know, now I want you away from me. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if I have a business and one of my workers is telling people that they feel like I'm stupid, I shouldn't be able to run a business, why is it me and not them? I am gonna fire them. And the reason is because I don't have to be around you. I'm not gonna explain myself to you. I know I now don't enjoy your company and I want you away from me. And I am not required to live a life where I have to sit next to somebody who don't like me.
Yeah, I get that. But what if y'all was all right before you found out? Say y'all was all right. Y'all no, if y'all was all right, y'all used to go and get coffee together, and y'all used to shoot the shit. Y'all might have even drunk a beer together at the bar after work. The buddy shit. And then you find out they call black people niggas 5 years ago.
That makes it worse because now you were in my face chilling and you are capable of leading such a role and a facade that I didn't know. And to find out that you were feeling this way while you were in my face breaking bread, that makes it worse. Now I definitely got to be away from you.
Okay. I can understand that.
I don't know if I can agree with that because it's like, okay, let's just say a white girl. I'm with a white girl. We cool as hell. And we, my, girl I work with, co-worker, whatever. And all of a sudden somebody bring emails to me saying what she said about black folks. Maybe call them an individual person an N-word or whatever. I'll still be cool with them. That won't bother me.
So, Brandon, you could be cool with a chick that feels like black people are niggas. Like she
just don't say it in front of me. She never said it in front of me. No. Okay, she can't do it in front of me. Of course, she can't do that. But something she said 10 years ago, no.
Well, you do.
Not 10 years ago.
Well, you do. 10 years ago. You do realize once she get mad, that's what she gonna say, though.
If she said, then she gonna get called all types of crackers and honkies right back at her.
Exactly. But are you gonna want to be around her all the time? It's not gonna be the same.
I never trusted it. I mean, I don't trust. First of all, I don't trust nobody. I don't trust damn nobody. But if they say something directly towards me, saying, "Oh, Bitcoin, I can't stand him," he's just, then we got a problem. But if you talking about another individual 10 years ago or whatever you called him the N-word, I still would be cool for you. But I still, got my, I'm still watching from afar though. Still got my side eye on you.
Yeah, see, for me, I just choose not to be around people I got a side eye and watch. Like I just don't want to do that. To me, that's a lot of extra work.
But Topaz, you say the C word too. You say honky crackers, you know what I'm saying? You got white friends too, right?
I
got
do
white friends, don't you?
White friends, yes.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the thing with that. When have you heard me say cracker, Brandon? When have you heard that?
Oh, all the time. You said
There
it.
ain't no
You
all
said it
the
on
time.
that show a
Man,
few
you
times
get up
ago.
here lying.
I'm out. Oh, don't make me
So,
find them clips
so,
now. I
so
gotta
they
Yeah,
find them
would
find
be,
the
clips.
clip, Brandon,
so
because I
they
want
Please
would
to
don't
be
make
in
me
the
do it.
right.
I don't feel like going through the archives. That's
They
long.
would be in
But
the
let
right.
me tell you this: any non-black friends that I have, whatever I say behind their back, I say to their face. So they
Okay.
already know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's cool then. If that's how you rock it out, you got white buddies, and if you say cracker in front of them, you can't, they can't get mad because somebody come and say, yeah, she say cracker when y'all ain't around. You can't
And
get
you know
mad.
what they're gonna say? They're gonna be like, she said when we around. So to them, but see, that's the thing. It's not a shock. I'm not doing it in secrecy. I'm not hiding it from them. Okay, so I'll tell you this. Like, so when we watch the news and it be some dumb shit that happen on TV, we got certain crimes that we just already be like, man, I bet they white. I will say that to my non-black friends. I will tell them, this is one of your people, right? I'm sorry. That's just what happens. And then guess what? But I don't get mad if they call me when it be some nigga shit on TV and they say,
Well, Topaz, that's why the Mexican said y'all don't like when y'all get your hair wet. That's probably why he said
exactly.
it,
And
because
I
he heard
said
you
something
say
back,
what
and
you
you know
said.
what? And we was cool. We actually was cool. And that's why I just fell out my mouth that easily. So if we cool, you definitely gonna know how I think.
So is it cool to have fun racial roasting? Is there a level to roasting, to racial
Yes.
roasting? There's levels to it, right?
Yes, there is. And so let me explain this, right? So what we not gonna do is have jokes about slavery. Now, what they can't do is like hang a noose in my locker and think we're gonna joke and giggle. Shit like that, that's too far. You're doing too much. Because now I'm gonna take this noose and beat your ass with it. And I feel like that's a mandate. I feel like I'm required to do that by my ancestors and my descendants, right? Second of all, if it's fun, like if it's true, and and we laugh at it and it's something that is known, okay, well then whatever, I'm gonna say something back, because every culture has its own stereotypes. So you can always find something to say about the next person. I don't get in my feelings if it's good-natured ribbing. What I don't like, what I'm not going to tolerate, is somebody actually feeling like they can talk down to me because of my race. Now, we're not gonna do that.
I would say it is. I think one of the most important things when you're engaging in, roasting and that type of thing, you have to know who you're participating in with when it comes to doing that. Like me personally, I'm not gonna do that with nobody that I know for sure. I can't do that with. They're not gonna take it personal. They're not gonna get in their feelings about it. I'm only gonna participate in a roast or playing the dozens with people that I know that I've done it with before, and they don't take it any kind of personal way. And people that I know that they could kind of, hang and get back with me on that. You know what I'm saying? But if it's anybody outside of that, I'm not gonna do it because I don't know what your response is gonna be there. I don't know if you're gonna take it personal. I don't know if you're gonna try to get me in trouble for it, especially, which I would never do it like in a workplace or anywhere like professional environment. But I'm just saying, like, let's say I would never do it in a place like that because, if they decide they want to go, tell on you and all this stuff, like now you're gonna be sitting in the office about some, jokes that you said with somebody that you thought, everything was cool. So I think knowing who you're doing it with and who you're participating with when it comes to that, I think that's just as important as what you say. Is, always about kind of who you doing it with. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
people know what's too far. Like, we're not gonna play this game like adults don't know how far to go. When you saying something that actually has a grounded response in negativity. So like NYC some man, he's put in the chat how like cracker's okay to say, but niggas not. Because historically, when people said nigga, they were tying you up to a tree as they were saying it. What have we done to white people while we're calling them crackers? What? Laugh at them, make fun of their food. Like what's that's way different. I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
And they
I mean,
made it that
I'm
way because of
I
their
think he's talking
actions.
about the white folks of today. Like, I get it what the ghost did. The white folks did in the past. They dead now. We talking about white people today. I just look at it like this. I can't be on some. I can hit you, but you can't hit me back. So we gonna fire John.
We've been
Yeah.
on
We
the
gonna fire
receiving
John.
end of that for 400 years now. Like, that's the thing. If
But
that's
don't
not
you
okay to do, then we can't act like it's cool for them to say that word.
well, I gotta give you some pushback on that one, Lady Topaz, because
Okay.
I mean, this is the thing. All right, as black people, whenever someone's treating us different, and we feel like we're being somewhat ostracized about things, the first thing we do is we rail on back to slavery, Jim Crow, white supremacy, and all that kind of stuff. So we do not want to be treated differently, right? We say
true though, T.P.O.T.
but
Did
but
we not go through slavery
yes,
while they were
yes,
calling
we
us niggas? And
yes, we did. But what we're asking people to do is to go ahead and don't do this particular thing because we are these special, we're this special interest group, and
Exactly.
don't say certain things to us, right? Treat us differently. But when it comes to other shit, when it comes to crime and all this kind of stuff, we say treat us the same. And I think that's where the problems come in at, where we want to be treated the same on some things, but we want to be treated different on others. And we want other people to put it into context, and basically the same kind of context that we put it in. That's where my problem is, where we want to be these special interest people, and then we want to be treated just like everybody else. And I don't think that works. I don't think that works.
Hey, Deshaun said, "Leave white folks alone. They all right now."
But look, okay, so I hear everything you're saying, right? Okay, so here's my issue. Give us 400 years of freely saying the word cracker and backhanding white people, and then we'll call it even. Let us get our lick back, and then we can be just as equal as you want.
Okay, so we should be allowed to call everybody.
We need 400 years. Yes.
But see, that's just the thing, though. That's just the thing, though. It's not just white people. We want to be able to call Asians people all kinds of stuff. We want to be able to call Latinos all kinds of stuff. So what's the justification for them? Do they all fall into that same group with the white folks?
Have Mexican people? No, but you know what? Honestly, I don't like the term wetback either, and that's the same reason. Is because people were being drowned in the Rio Grande while being called wetbacks. So, like, I would never say that. I honestly don't say that.
You just did.
Well, let me say.
You know what, Brandon? Shut up.
Let me say this. I'm gonna go on my cool mode real quick. Like Brandon.
There you go. Let's get it, man. Yeah.
I'm a channel my alter ego, Uncle Ruckus. I think you should leave Mr. Charlie alone. Mr. Charlie ain't never hurt nobody. Mr. Charlie is perfect. It can't never do no wrong. It's you darkies that get on my goddamn nerves.
And now listen, so let me ask y'all this. Why are we laughing at that? Why are we laughing at Uncle Ruckus?
Because I don't know, he sounds ridiculous.
Because it's counterintuitive. Because he's going against his own interest, and we think it's silly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the premise of the laughter.
Look, you think I'm allowing you to beat my ass because of what my great-great-grandfather did? You got me messed up. Ain't nobody finna do nothing to me.
And
you better go to my granddaddy, go to his grave, talk to him.
So T.P.O.T and Coon and Uncle Ruckus, y'all gonna like this part, right? So I do have a problem with one thing that black people do. I feel like we don't like something that people do to us, right? We're gonna march, we're gonna protest, we're gonna cry about it. But guess what? That ain't how life works. You make people stop doing stuff you don't want them to do. So that's my issue, is like, I do feel like we are not looking at how the world works. Because if we want people to stop saying the N-word, well, you're going to have to put some action behind it. Like, the rest of the world is like, make me.
Do you think black people today care about the N-word like that? Because everybody's saying it. Like, nigga is now the word. It's just a classification now. It's like a term for everybody now. If you ain't shit dude, you just going to be a nigga, whether you white, Asian. That's how people are using the N-word now.
Exactly. And
they greet each other like, what's up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga?
Well, and here's the thing. I actually view the term nigga as, like, apparently it was explained to me that the word is supposed to mean like laziness, being just like extra, being a drain. So in my opinion, if we're using that terminology to define the N-word, yeah, it's some in every race. And if we're gonna use it that way, then cool. I won't be mad about it no more. I'm fine with it. But see, I just feel like there are still people that use it to say all black people are bad and unworthy of respect.
Mm. Well, you see what degenerate Sherigan says, but unfortunately, Uncle Ruckus made some good points.
Uncle Ruckus would like to say this. Uncle Ruckus would like to say this.
Lord.
Hold on, give me a minute. I just want to say this. Y'all leave my snow bunnies alone because I tell you this, snow bunnies smell like cinnamon rolls and vanilla ice cream. Oh Lordy. Oh Lordy.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing, though, right? Like I said, we want it to be treated different when it benefits us, and we want to be treated the same when it benefits us. And I think that, to be honest, black people are going to have to find a healthy medium between those two extremes. You can't cry that you're being treated different, and then you want to cry about being treated the same. I mean, you can't have it both ways, and we always fall back on, well, we were slaves, Jim Crow, 400 years, they brought us here from Africa. How long do we use that to justify because we're trying to exercise black privilege, right? If we can walk around if we can walk around and call people cracker and all this kind of stuff and gook and wetback, I mean, how long do we get to use the 400 years a slave, we was brought here from Africa excuse? How long?
As we can get away with it. As
long as it works.
And look, I'm just being honest, okay? Y'all, the other races have things that they can always fall back on and cry oppression. And I just feel like as long as they let us get away with it, I say go for it. Shit. People in this world need something to get an advantage and a head on, right? So I'm saying if it works, go for it.
And let me be on Topaz side, because on her side for a minute, because like the Asians, they out there crying. So when we being abused by other people, we want this Asian crime bill passed, hate crime bill passed for us, directly for us. It's like, damn. So nobody really says the Asian folks is crying, because I seen Asian women tell us, we need to be protected. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all do some wrong, bad things to other people too. So I'm not trying to hear like y'all innocent. Like, nah, nobody should be.
First of all, Asians got all kind of martial arts stuff. They be playing with swords and they fight back.
You racist.
You racist. You in their nail shop over $10. Stop playing.
Topaz is racist.
They fighting back. They ain't no victim. Stop it. But they got a hate crime bill.
Well, Uncle Ruckus just want to say this, don't trust niggas, because when you trust niggas, you get all stressed out and your blood pressure go up and all of that. So if you don't trust niggas, you'll live a more stress-free life. And I just want to say this: don't trust them new niggas over
there. But isn't that? Don't we? When we want to interject race into everything, aren't we kind of playing a dangerous game? Like, because not everything is racist, not everything is discriminatory, and I think sometimes we kind of overplay racism, especially if people from two different races if something happens between two different people from two different races, we automatically try to interject racism into it, even when no racism exists. I mean, every white man that do something to a black man, he didn't do it because the man was black. And likewise, every black man who did something to a white man didn't necessarily do it because he was white. But we have a tendency to kind of stick it in there, no matter what. So are we overplaying the whole racial? I mean,
T.P.O.T, but is the Asians doing that? Like, if we do something to the Asian folks, they automatically say that's a hate crime. I hate Asians.
Oh, yeah, like, they roll out in the street and act like that somebody shot them for real. And I'm going to say this, T.P.O.T, I'm going to answer your question. Yes, okay, there is a such thing as overplaying the race card. And see, that will be, ill-advised. You can't just throw it in the middle of everything, because then you won't be able to keep using it. So I feel like this right now is a
Yeah,
test
you
for
can say
Black
that's what the
society.
women do with the Me Too. That's what women do with Me Too. They
That too.
overuse
So
it. That's why people don't take it serious no more.
people are tested in society. How long can you get away with crime victim before people say, all right, now get up, that ain't working no more, and then you get up off your ass and do what you gotta do, which you should have been doing a long time ago.
Yep.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, that balance. How much can I get away with by crime racism, but then also not overuse it so it stopped working? And
Well,
if you get greedy, then it goes away, and now you got to do the work.
Yeah, because it appears that you're crying wolf after a while. Right. But go ahead, brother Third Ward.
I'll say to your point, yes, there's some things that are racist or that has racism in it, yes, but I agree with you. It's not everything. Like, you got some people out here that probably think that, like, let's say I prefer my steaks to be, cooked, or, either rare or, medium rare. Oh, that's racist. Why you don't like it well done? You don't like it because it's extra black and dark. You discriminate. I like white cars. Oh, you discriminate. You don't like brown cars or black cars, or you own some race. Like it'll get ridiculous like that. Some people will be like, oh, why you don't like this? Why you don't like that? Oh, you sure like them white cars though. Like it'll get stupid like that. I'm just like, yeah. So I'm with y'all on it. And also, let me say,
Third Ward, do you not like light skinned women? Because every time we on the panel, you always say I love dark skinned women. Dark skinned women, my favorite. Only dark skinned women.
Well, I will say this. Yes. Am I attracted to light skinned women? Yes. But if you ask me what my preference is, my preference has always been brown and chocolate women. That's usually what
Council Third Ward.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, you know what's funny? I actually had, it's a funny story. Long time ago, I had a light-skinned sister tell me that I was a colorist because I preferred brown and chocolate women. Now, usually,
really?
Yeah,
right.
Usually it happens the other way around. Usually, you tell a more darker skinned sister that you prefer light skinned women, they'll tell you that you're a colorist. But actually, it happened in the reverse for me. And I was like, wow. I was like, so because my preference tends to usually be brown and chocolate women. Now I'm the color. I'm like, wow. But you got to realize some people you can't please, bro. It's just some people you cannot please. So you trying to please them will be really just asinine and pointless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to live your life. Like, to me, the sisterhood putting their foot on Too Short's neck and making him apologize because he said he preferred. And notice, he said he preferred mixed women, not because he didn't find any other type of woman attractive, but because that's what he grew up around. People got to realize you're going to be attracted to either one or two things. You're going to either be attracted to the type of people that you grow up around or what you see growing up around you, or you're going to be attracted to what you don't see growing up around you that you rarely have seen, in your young years. But now that you're an adult, you're seeing something new and different. So it's either one of the two. But like I said, he basically said that he was attracted to mixed women because that's what he grew up around, being, in the Bay, which is Northern California. It's a lot of mixed people over there. So I didn't see nothing wrong with it. It wasn't like he said, oh, I'm attracted to mixed women because, if you anything outside of a mixed woman, you try. Like, he didn't say nothing like that. But yet that's kind of how they held him accountable for that. I think that's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Topaz, I'm going to ask you something real quick, Topaz. Oh, go ahead, Topaz.
Let me say this to the chat. I never said that Asian people didn't have their own struggles. What I said was that currently, right now, they fight back and they are not victims at this moment. That's what I said. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I know about the internment.
She said y'all got swords and ninja stars and nunchuck.
That was me being a little facetious. Okay. So, I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
Every Asian man don't fight like Bruce Lee, by the way.
But that is a stereotype. See, they got their own stereotypes, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's what all I'm saying is, like, for them to be right now talking about people are beating up on them or whatever, that ain't what I see on the news. I see Asian people locking people in their salon till you get them all their money and they not playing with you.
You mean to tell me all Asian people don't know kung fu? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say up here tonight?
No, look, they all know kung fu, right? And they all, they all have swords.
They all own a rice house. They all got a rice house.
Exactly, and they all like the 88 from Kill Bill. Okay, so I don't know
Well,
what
we
y'all
making
talking about.
SKC mad. I know SKC down there mad as hell. Look at all this racism.
SKC will come in my motherfucking channel and don't even speak to me, so I don't care if he mad. He can be mad down there in the chat.
But I got a question for you, Topaz, real quick. I want you to be honest now. If I'm on national TV, let's say on Fox 2 News, well, that's our channel here, but whatever y'all Fox is or channel it is, if I say I love black women are the most beautiful women in the world, do you think I'll get pushback for saying that? I want you to be honest. If a white man is on the same station, same channel, he says, I think white women are the most beautiful women in the world, would he get any pushback?
Yes.
Exactly. I think everybody gets treated unfairly. He'll get fired. They'll look at him as he's racist. I can say all day I love black women, they the most beautiful, but he say his women are the most beautiful women. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Ruckus just wants to say hello to SKC. That's my buddy right there. Ever since me and SKC stopped trusting niggas, our lives have been very peaceful and non-stressful. And the brother SKC over there got him a nice little rice buddy, and I don't blame you. Go ahead and do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Percentages is killing kicking our ass, man. Kicking the community ass, man. You right. We hate to hear about percentages.
Yeah, because they claim percentages ain't real unless the percentages show us favor, which I think is stupid.
Those the white man numbers.
Yeah, that's the white man data. Anything that shows us in a bad light is the white man's data. But then we'll turn around and use same said white man's data for some shit that shows us in a popular light, which I just think is unfucking believable. I've heard people cite it from the same documents. I've heard people cite information from the CDC, but like, oh, well, they say black people do this, that, and that. And then you'd be like, well, they also say black people don't do so good in this. Oh, well, that's skewed. What are you talking about? It's coming from the same place.
Yep.
Coming from the same place. So
so confirmation bias exists, okay? And it is human nature because we like to hear things we like and we don't like to hear things we don't like. Now, is it the best way to live your life? No. But what I'm saying to y'all is you got to understand the masses live by what's easier. That's why life looks this way. If you're going to be an outlier, if you're going to be different, if you're going to be above it all, you got to understand that you're going to not have as many followers. You're not going to have as much support as somebody who just going along to get along. That's the way life is set up. We all know this. We see it every day.
For the record, Uncle Ruckus would just like to say, I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely jealous of SKC because he gets homemade fried rice and wonton soup every day, and I gotta settle for these greasy ass chicken wings that niggas put their spotty little fingers on when they cook it. So, SKC, Uncle Ruckus is jealous that you get homemade fried rice and wonton soup. I'm just saying.
Uncle Ruckus, I'm sure you got a beautiful black woman at home that cooks good food for you, sir. I'm sure you do.
Wait, degenerate, why? Why can't I be in Long Beach or San Jose or Santa Rosa? What I do now? Why you banning me from Lower California? Like, why I can't go over there? But anyway, y'all go ahead. I'm just curious.
Asian folks live down there.
Oh,
what they call I think they call Laotian, something like that.
Oh well, I don't have an Asian problem with Asian people.
Allegedly.
Yeah, Asians don't watch this channel anyway, so don't even worry about it. Asians don't watch. They don't watch this shit. They don't watch this shit. So let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all this. We all on media. We all do this media shit, right? Now, do you think that every black person on media should talk good about black folks? Oh, yeah, that's a good question, ain't it?
Yeah, because I already know I'm finna get hate in the chat and I don't care. Guess what? I bet y'all ain't gonna click the link.
No,
No. Yes, I do think that we should say good things, but I think we should pick out the actual good things. I don't think that we should lie. I think we should focus on and big up and promote the good things so that more people will do those things and eventually it will become a reality. Second of all, we already got enough people on here blowing up all the bad stuff. I mean, we already know that. Okay, like
but Topaz, a dude shot 4 people at school, and they threw him a party. So sometimes we don't know right definition of good or bad. Sometimes my good could be your bad.
That's bad because what
We
you're
can't
doing.
agree with that.
No, I don't agree with it. And here's why. It's because what you're doing is telling people, you're telling the younger generation that if you have a problem with bullying and you go to school and you shoot people up, when you get out on bail, expect a party. And so what is that going to tell the younger generation? For them to go to school and shoot people when they get mad. So no, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think this is a good thing. I think that the younger children need to see what happens when you go to school and shoot people, instead of just like transferring or something.
But as far as what T.P.O.T was asking, I mean, we can't always, be respectful with each other, show the positive side, but sometimes that negative side outweighs the positive. Like just recently, I think 4 or 5 days ago, a child was killed in my neighborhood, 3-year-old child. A black man did it, his own stepson. So it's like, I get it, we should be on some positive stuff, but when you do something to a kid, when it comes to killing each other, we robbing each other, like that's always going to outweigh the positive, and we gotta put that to light.
Well, you know what they need to show. So if we're gonna show that, we need to also show us beating the shit out of the stepfather. Like I'm saying, like think about what the optics are. What message do we want to put out there? If we're gonna put out there that this is something black men are capable of doing, then we need to show our reaction to him doing that, so that the next person, it will be a deterrent. And anyway, degenerate, first of all, I have Asian friends, thank you very much. Okay, they like me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, let me say this.
So, Lady Topaz, what you're talking about is balance.
Yes.
Right?
That's the thing with me. I love balance. That's what I always try to do. I'm glad you noticed, T.P.O.T. Thank you.
Go ahead. Well, I'm gonna address it, but I want Brother Third Ward to go ahead and say what he got to say. Go ahead, Brother Third Ward.
Let me say this. At the end of the day, my thing is this: when it comes to dealing with other people, other races of people, like y'all was just saying, yes, balance is key. And my thing is when it comes to what Brandon was talking, or what y'all was talking about, it just seems like the worst of us get, put on Front Street or represented. I think another reason why that happens is because, let's just be honest, and this even applies to YouTube on here. Let's be honest, the stuff that is positive or that is informational or helpful to black folks, like, let's just be real. That type of stuff on YouTube and even on public television, like cable and stuff, gets the least amount of views. But let it be some drama, some niggatry, and some fuckery involved in it. Oh, that shit is gonna take off and it's gonna get a lot of views. And that's because a lot of us have either been programmed or we just love the drama and the effery, because that's what's entertaining. That's what keeps our attention. But when it's peaceful, when it's no drama, no effery, and it's something that can actually help us, we like, we kind of like skim over.
Yeah, we do really gravitate to negative stuff. You're right.
Like, how many streams I've seen where people are actually talking some real good informational stuff that can actually help people, and they get the least amount of support or the least amount of views, but let another stream, fire up with they arguing with each other, calling each other names, and talking about, I'm gonna pull up on you, and it's that stream is getting all the views and it's getting all the cash apps, and super chats. The super chats is ringing off the hook.
That's something that we do, and we contribute to that shit. That's our fault.
Yeah, I mean, because you spoke of balance, Lady Topaz, and are we obligated to be balanced on here? Because I'm a true believer that the show is about what the show is about. If I'm talking about something and you don't think I'm being balanced, you can just turn it off. So Are we obligated to be balanced? Are we obligated to talk about good and bad? What if we only want to talk about bad? What if we only want to talk about good? Because if someone talks about a lot of good stuff, should they now talk about bad stuff too to be balanced?
Yes, because here's why. If somebody tunes into your channel and you're only telling one side of it, we automatically know that you're only telling one side. And while we can understand that that's what you choose to focus on for your reasons, we are going to feel like you're biased. So if you like, I just feel like if you're telling the entire truth, the truth of life is everything has good and bad in it. There is no thing on this planet that's all good. There's no thing on this planet that's all bad. There are things that we will not tolerate, and there are things that we feel like no one should do. And if we had the decision, we could eradicate it. But if it doesn't exist, then its opposite doesn't exist either.
So if you're a black person and you own media, no matter what you talk about, you obligated to talk about the opposite of it too.
Well, you're not obligated to do anything because everybody has free will, and you just got to understand the consequences of it. So it's going to be people that say, I don't like this content because it only tells one side. If you want to consider yourself a truth teller, the truth of life is everything has good and bad in it. So if you want to say, no, I am only focused on this is what my topic is, then people respect it or check it. Those are your options, and so you're going to get some people. You have to understand that with that comes some people who want to come up to you and talk to you about the other half, and you got to be ready to handle that.
I mean, I was thinking about what Thor was bringing up, as far as we like to gravitate more to drama. It's like this, even in hip hop, rapper could be a negative dude who talk about all that gangster stuff, talk about shooting and killing and all this selling dope. But as soon as he start being positive, his sales go down. Nobody coming to his shows, nobody's buying his album no more. You go back to talking that negative stuff, albums go back up. Everybody buying his albums, going to his shows now. So I don't know. Sometimes we like that, the negativity more than positive.
Yeah, we like watching the damn train wreck or the car crash. But is it like that because of who we are, or is it like that because the shit that we have in front of us? Like, we have more a negative stuff before us than we do positive stuff. Because when people come on the internet, right, and they talk about things, and I'll even throw myself in there too, right? When we come on the internet and we see a lot of stuff, we see a lot of shit that's just really, really insane. We see a lot of stuff that's worthy of talking about. Like the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about, these women who've been killing their kids and shit. When you see so much of it, it's hard if you're a person that does this media YouTube stuff to not do it, because that stuff catches your interest. As a person who puts material up, you kind of do the stuff that catches your interest. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I do, it comes right out of the headlines. I read it in the newspaper, or, I see it online, or somebody send me a story, because people send me a lot of shit. And I look at it and I be like, oh shit, I got to do a stream about this shit. So it never occurs to me when I say I get a story of, because I did a story last week about this chick named Denezda Kilpatrick out in my home state of New York, right? She had 2 babies. They were 46 days old, right? She took the babies, she poured Pine Sol in their milk bottles, right? To try to kill them. She poured Pine Sol in their milk bottles, and she ran scalding hot water over them. She had twins. One of the twins was a girl, the other twin was a boy. The girl died from the Pine Sol in the hot water. The boy was a little tougher. The Pine Sol didn't kill him, and neither did the hot water. So what she did, she took a knife and she ran it through this infant's neck. Now, mind you, the infants were a month and a half old. When I tell a story like that to people, I don't feel the need to tell some great story where, some child got saved, out of the sewer. I don't really feel the need to do that. So
okay.
go ahead.
you're not okay. So the reason why you don't feel the need to do that is because the good is already apparent in why you're telling the story. When you're presenting a story like that, the good is you putting out awareness so that people can be on alert and make sure that this doesn't happen to other kids and that bitch faces justice. So that's the good part. So you are in fact bringing both good and bad.
How? What's good about that story, Lady Topaz?
No, nothing is good about the story. Is what's good is the reason why you're telling the story.
So I guess it all depends on what story you're telling if you need to be balanced, right? So balance, there's levels to balance too.
Well, I mean, there's levels to everything. Nothing in life is completely black or white. There's concrete thinking, and it's actually much childish. Like as you get older, concrete thinking is like around pre-puberty. Once you get older, you are capable of abstract thought, and then that's when you get to the final points of cognitive development. So when you tell a story like that, there's no good in the story. The good is why you're telling that story. You're bringing awareness to the fact that this is something that's happening, and we need to be on alert, and we need to be able to prevent it going forward, and also so that she faces justice. You're talking to people about why this is wrong and what she should have done instead, and that encourages people who might be going through a issue after they give birth to get help and not kill their children. It might be so that the loved ones of somebody who has just given birth will check in on the children and make sure that they catch this before it gets to that point with their loved ones. So no, the story itself doesn't have any good in it. If you tell a bad story, the reason why you're telling it is hopefully a good reason. If you tell a good story, hopefully the bad is what it would be like if that didn't exist. So I'm not saying that each individual event in our lives is both good and bad. What I'm saying is that things have a way of evening out.
Well, I'll say this real quick. Over on our channel at For the Record TV, we try to be as balanced as possible. So, like, let's say, for instance, there's a story of a black man doing something, that's goofy or something that's like heinous. Then we highlight that story. We bring it up and we go in on dude. Or if it's a black woman or anybody, it doesn't really matter. What the gender is or whatever. Whoever it is. We give the same amount of energy and smoke to both sides. Like for instance, recently, that situation that happened where the mother killed her son over the memory card, a SD memory card. I think the kid's name was
Fallon Harris. Fallon Harris was her name, right? In
Chicago? I'm talking about Chicago. I'm talking about Kate. Was it Caden Ingram? I think it was Caden Ingram.
Caden.
Yeah, you're right.
Caden.
Yeah. We talked about that situation on our channel, and we went in on the mother because for those who don't know that story, a black mother killed her black son over an SD memory card. And not only did she shoot him once, but when she found out he was still breathing, living, she basically finished the job and shot him again and killed him. And, not only did I get on her, but, my response to that is, it was some information that came out that people closest to her family, friends, and coworkers, they all said that they saw signs of her, unraveling mentally and losing it. And I said that not only should she be held accountable for doing what she did to her son, but the people that was around her that saw her deterioration, of her mental, they should be held accountable as well, because you saw, her basically devolving and you did nothing about it. Y'all just stood there or sat there and didn't do nothing about it. And now, you have a little black boy that, it cost him his life because y'all just stood there and did nothing. And particularly the father. I remember the father did a little interview with the news station, and he was basically talking about how she was a good mother. I'm like, whoa, hold up. So a mother that killed a child that y'all both created, that's a good mother? Like, and I just kind of like lost it because I'm like, no, that's not a good mother. And my thing is, as the father, why didn't you snatch your son up and be like, look, mom is she's not, at her best right now. We might have to send her away for a little bit to get some, help or some treatment. But until we do, I got you. I'm gonna be with you, son. Make sure you stay protected and you be all right, because mom's not in her right frame of mind right now, and ain't no telling what she might do, to you, while she's not in her right frame of mind. But no, he didn't do anything, and neither did anybody else that saw her basically headed in that direction. And so now a little boy, it cost a little boy's life. And like I said, I blame everybody that saw her, going in that direction and didn't do nothing about it. I don't just blame her, even though she's the one that actually committed the act.
Well, we
Yeah.
don't know if, like, okay, so, and here's my issue, right? So we don't know if the dad was in shock and grief. We don't know if he was trying to get his kid and it just hadn't worked out yet. And then this happened before he won. So that's the answers that we don't know. So I didn't want to just jump down on the father until we find out more. But it was coming out in the story that more and more people knew that she was off her rocker and didn't do anything. They didn't say anything. And so now I personally feel like that's how the community failed that child. But there are a lot of people that feel like, oh, well, that wasn't our responsibility. I'm sorry, but I just kind of feel like if we know somebody not in their right mind, we are required to act and do something. T.P.O.T, did you check the back chat up here?
Yes.
How many times? How many times?
Did.
Okay.
How many times do we see other communities and other races that if the mama or the the person that's in the home with them that's taking care of them, if they not doing right by them or right state of mind, somebody else will step in and be like, okay, you know what, let me get the child because I see you on some BS, or I see you not in your right frame of mind to raise this child, and until you do so, I'm taking the child. Like, but like you said, Topaz, a lot of us look at it like that's not our business, it's not our place, and this is why you got people out here, that's suffering and stuff. So it's like,
if I could be fair though, I mean, it's gonna be kind of tough to do that, especially if a mother said, "This is my child. Y'all can't take my motherfucking child." Like, mother's gonna go off, so you can't take my baby.
But if she, but if she being a retarded mother, yes, we can. I mean, like, yes, I can.
That's what the law says. The law will go against you. Like, they'll arrest you if you try to take that child.
That's why CPS exists. That's why CPS actually exists. Is so that if she's doing crazy shit like this, if we have a concern, we can send out people for a welfare check. And if they find something that says that she's going nuts, then that we can actually remove that child as a society. But my thing is, she's gonna be mad about it, but she'll get over it.
I was gonna say, like, the issue I have with that, because like in my neighborhood, I was bringing up the dude that killed his stepson. They took the children away. He had 3 kids. I don't know if it was his or his girlfriend, whatever. But they took the kids away for 18 months. It was stuff about accusations about him beating the kids. They was being abused. After 18 months, they brought the child back to the stepfather. A month later, he killed the 3-year-old.
Wow.
So even when CPS do step in, I feel like, they really, I mean, they sometimes do a good job, and just sometimes they ignore stuff, see signs that obviously says we need to take this kid away from this parent forever. This person don't need to be around these kids. They need to be around a safe haven.
But see, Brandon, you're making my point though. That's what they should have did. That's what they should have did with that lady who killed her son in Chicago. They should, and like I said, that the co-workers, the friends, and the family members all said that it wasn't like they just seen it recently. They said no, over the years they started to see her mental state deteriorate, and they started to see like her, basically be more on some, on some crazy type of stuff. And so it's like, if y'all knew this and y'all saw this over the years, why not intervene and step in before it got to the point to where she actually took her own son's life? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree with you on that, Brandon. I agree.
Well, what we're looking at now is 7 people that I have deemed the magnificent 7. Every one of these women that you see before you today murdered their children. These are 7 out of the, I think, 62 stories that I have in my
what's crazy? What's crazy about this T.P.O.T? I didn't mean to cut you off. I only know about one, and that's the Fallon Harris one, because that's the most recent one. But all these other women that you got up on here, I ain't never heard about none of them. And my thing is, how come they didn't get as much publicity on the news as the Fallon Harris chick?
That's the thing. I think the only one that even came close was Frances Newton. Those of you who are from Texas, y'all probably remember Frances Newton. She murdered her children and her husband in 1987. There was this big old campaign, she's innocent, she was framed and all this kind of nonsense. But she was eventually executed on Texas death row in 2005. In fact, She was the first Black woman executed on Texas death row in modern times. That's the third one from the left. Y'all may remember Michelle Blair. Michelle Blair had 4 children, killed 2 of them. The 2 oldest children, she killed them, and they were in the deep freezer for 2 years before they were discovered.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, 2 years before they were discovered. Nicole Johnson is actually quite recent as well. She had 2 children that she had gotten from her sister. She basically just let them die of starvation. When they found the children, one kid was 7, the other one was 5. They both weighed about 20 pounds. When they found them, she was riding around with their bodies inside the trunk of her car. Jeanette Hawes, she killed both of her kids in a convenience store bathroom. I believe one of the kids was 1, the other one was a couple months old. She literally just stabbed him to death and locked herself inside the bathroom with the children. Then there's Jamiria Hall. She killed both of her children, left their bodies in the house, and went out. And the day before they found the children, they saw her out and she was high and just doing all kinds of craziness while the kids' bodies rotted inside the house. Then Amanda Jefferson, she brutally murdered both of her children. And when they finally discovered the children, she pretended to not have had any children. The kid's father came there. She pretended not to know him, said she didn't remember who he was, and she had never had any kids. Now, mind you, I have like 62 of these stories in my archives. These were just the most gruesome. And of course, Fallon Harris made it because, you know, she shot her son in the head, I think 3 times over an SD card. Now, the reason why I have this up here is because you know me. I basically coined the term of these old mamas. I'm that guy. So the reason why I put this story up, these pictures up tonight, is because there is no balance when you're talking about this stuff. There is no a good side to it. It's all bad. So if you're somebody like me and you're always reading about these stories, it's hard to go find the good stuff, if you will, even if you know it exists. And that's kind of what I'm saying to you, Lady Topaz, because I have so many of, you know, this kind of stuff, Lady Topaz, that, you know, it makes it hard for you to go look for the positive stuff, because this stuff you don't have to look for. This stuff slaps you in the face.
Right. And so that's not what I'm saying. So here's the reality of the world is there are a lot of people doing more negative stuff. And also the negative is going to catch your attention because it threatens our safety and our security. So we are hardwired to be on alert to be able to keep ourselves safe and secure. So the negative is going to jump out at you. The balance is not in the story. The balance is what you bring to telling the story. That's where the good comes in, is letting people know that this exists, letting people know that it's preventative, and giving people a plan for what they can do so that this does not keep happening to them or other people. Now, somebody typed in the chat saying that CPS comes out and they investigate and don't do anything. Yeah, and that is because we as a society have said that we err on the side of caution and we don't separate a parent from their kids. When we as society say that we understand that sometimes, you know, we're going to have to say we need to be transparent if you ain't doing nothing wrong to your kids. And then also we have to understand that people are afraid of somebody using CPS out of spite, right? So these are things, these are barriers to CPS being able to be as effective as it can be. Yes. So if we want that to stop happening, then we got to get rid of those barriers. We as a society got to stop using CPS out of spite, because that overworks and uses resources that could be routed to helping a child that actually needs to be saved. you sending CPS to somebody's house because you're mad at them out of spite just to ruin their day. That caseworker is now not able to go to a house where some kid, it could be minutes away from being saved, and it's a life or death issue. You know,
T.P.O.T, real quick. All those
Go
pictures
ahead.
you show, are all those women, not all of them, but most of them single mothers, or were they wives?
Of course.
Get out of here. Get out of
Are
here.
you serious?
husband.
The
Get out of
only,
here.
Hey, I'm trying to be all serious. Well, most of those women.
the only one, there were only two that was married, right?
Yeah.
Frances Newton, because you know she killed her husband and killed the children, and then Fallon Harris, she was married to Caden's father, but I don't think they were together at the time. I don't believe they were together. But the rest of them is baby mamas, of course. We
Well, I was just gonna say, I was thinking about. I can see it. Go ahead, third, my bad.
Bro, come on, bro. Did you knew the answer to that question? Like, come on, bro. You already know what time
I
it
guess
is,
that was a
man.
rhetorical question. But anyway, I was gonna say, you know, do you all think marriage is the way for a lot of these kids to be saved? Like, if a black man and a black woman get together, they dating and all this, they start planning what they're gonna do with the kids first, get married, then start having kids.
Well, I'll
It
say
seems like we
this.
just haven't.
I say this. Now, is marriage the more organized and structured way to do things when planning a family, having a kid? Yes, but let's be real. You can marry somebody, but if you don't know their mental state or their emotional state, it doesn't matter if you marry them or you don't marry them. Like them being married to these women that T.P.O.T just showed, that's not going to stop these women for going nuts and being crazy. So I think the thing is people got to really, you got to know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Sometimes, you know, in a relationship, things change and people change. But at the same time, like, you should kind of always be in tune with who your partner is, because you never know, man. Like I said, people change over time, man. You know, one minute you could be with them, they could be normal, and then the next, you know, they could be like on some whole other type of ish. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily think marrying will, you know, guarantee a child's safety and that it'll stop a child from going up and go. It's really more or less, you know, if that person's mental state and their emotional state is right. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh yeah, I definitely
nobody
agree
can
with you,
expect
third.
something like this. So I'm just saying, nobody,
Right.
nobody, you know, nobody would even imagine that they woman, you know, they wife, woman, baby mom, whatever you want to call it, that would do something like that to their child, especially their own child. Like who would think that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying,
so,
percentage wise, would you say like majority of kids that are harmed, molested, beaten down come from single parent homes or
Oh yeah, that's a
marriage?
statistic. That's a statistical fact.
Unfortunately, I would say yes. Unfortunately, yeah. I would say that, yeah. You know,
and I definitely agree. Like two crazy folks get together, get married, whatever, they still cause harm to their kids. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, just, now the kids
looking
just
at the
got
numbers,
the kids
more
just
kids or
just got another crazy parent in the house now. But
Mm-hmm.
what I think is what I think would help, and maybe not so much as marriage. I guess marriage plays a part in it. I think kids having more involved fathers would save a lot of this, because you got to look at it this way, right? You got these women, they by themselves, and chances are they probably wouldn't have been able to do this if the fathers were involved in the children's lives. Obviously that wasn't the case. The fathers weren't there for whatever reason, because we got to be honest here. I mean, somebody climbed on top of these hoes. It's not like it's not like they squirted it in there with a turkey baster. So, you know, somebody climbed on top of these crazy lunatics. Obviously they're lunatics because they murdered the children. And I think that's the only thing you can really do, because like you said, brother Third Ward, you know, one of these chicks can snap at any time. You know, you don't know what's going on in their head. I think the only way you can beat it is you got to do it preemptively by not crawling on top of one of these deranged outpatient lunatics in the first place. I mean,
exactly.
That's the only way you can kind of stop it, especially, give or take, right? Because, like I said, Fallon Harris and Newton, they were both married, and the kids still ended up dead. Now, Frances Newton, she killed the kids and the husband. So the husband being there didn't save himself or the children. But what I think would have saved those children is them not being born to her ass in the first place. And the same with the other rogue of Momnificent 7 that you see up there, because I don't believe, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, I don't believe that these chicks went to bed Friday night and everything was normal. They tucked the babies in and everything was going fine. And they woke up Saturday morning and murdered them. No, some other shit had been going on for a long time, and this was the end of a buildup. That's what I believe. You don't
You
go
know
to
what?
sleep. You don't go to sleep Thursday night and everything's fine, and you wake up in the morning and murder the babies, man.
And you know what? I definitely agree with you. I think when people finally like lose their mind and they do something like out of the ordinary, and to like show that they on some crazy stuff, I think, like you said, it's definitely like a buildup over time. It's not something that just happens within a 24-hour or 48-hour period. And perfect example of this is I remember when about a month or two ago we were talking about over on our channel. We were talking about that whole Simone Biles situation where she quit on the Olympic team because she said she wanted to I guess work on her mental health or whatever. And my
Mm-hmm.
thing is, me personally, I feel like she quit last minute because in that particular Olympics, she was getting, pretty much beat, by the competition. And I feel like she kind of used the whole mental health excuse as a cop out. And, my thing is, so you mean to tell me on the day of competition, all of a sudden you just realize that you needed to step away from, competing in the Olympics to, work on your mental health? That's something that I don't believe you just found out that particular day. This is something that you probably knew you should have been working on and was in the back of your mind, but you chose that day to use that as an excuse because you was getting whooped and beat. So you wanted to use that as a cop out. And I don't think that's fair to her teammates, and I don't think that's fair to the people at the Olympics because Olympics only come around every 4 years, and you're prepping for this, for those years. So you mean to tell me that you couldn't have made arrangements to take care of this before the Olympics? So that
Mm-hmm.
was my thing. Like I wasn't buying it, but you had some people that felt otherwise. That felt like, oh, you can, it's possible that you can know that you need mental health help and all of that. Like that day, like I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it because to me, mental health when you most people like I'm just speaking on Black people. A lot of us ignore whatever little traumas or issues we've had from our past, and we just put it on the back burner. Sometimes we work ourselves to death, so we don't have to think about it. And then it comes to a point to where it builds up over time, and we had that one moment to where it kind of boils over. And to me, that's not something that's just right then and there in that time. That's something that's a buildup over time. So when people try to use the whole mental excuse, or she just went crazy out of nowhere, or he went, like, I'm not buying it. Like you said, it's something that's been building up over time, and either that particular person has ignored it and pushed it to the side, or the people around those individuals have ignored it for a certain period of time as well. So that's what I would say. And
Yeah.
appreciate the subscription, Nick Taylor. Appreciate that, OG. Okay,
Right on, Nick. Right on, Nick.
I want to suggest this to y'all, and I want to get y'all opinion on it. And we kind of talked about this on our channel like a few months back, but I forgot we had a topic, right? Matter of fact, I think it was the Fallon lady topic when she killed her son Kate Ingram. So I had said something to the effect that, do y'all believe that before mothers give birth or even after they give birth to a child, do you believe that they should get some kind of mental and emotional checkup to see if they even fit to raise a kid or even take care of a kid? Because we all know a lot of women have kids, and then there are women that say that after they have kids they go through this little depression and all that. So my thing is, should women be checked to see if they even fit to have a kid, let alone raise one, whether it's before or after they have a child? What do y'all think about that?
If you ask me, I say before and after. I even say both parents, father and the mother. Everybody should be checked to see if they mentally stable to raise a child.
Well, that's easy for me. I think that women should be mentally evaluated before they start fucking. I believe I believe they should be evaluated
I don't think that's
after
gonna happen.
after
Our,
they start
some of
fucking.
our sisters love having sex. They
They
love
talk
sex,
about
man.
having the baby. They need to be evaluated way before that,
Yeah.
because once they knocked up, that's it. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I think they should be evaluated before because you got all these stories, man, that I've seen over the course of years of my life, man, where you got these women who kill these kids and abuse these kids and allow these kids to be abused and all this kind of nonsense. I mean, obviously, these aren't people who aren't suited to be parents, all right? Because if they were, none of this shit would be happening, right? None of it would be happening if they were suited to be parents. I don't care what people say. And inside of Black society, we think everybody who got a fucking vagina and a penis is suited to be a parent for some reason. I just don't know why we think that. Doesn't matter how old they are, how stupid they are, how goddamn mentally challenged they may be, or none of that shit. If you can have it, God damn it. And I think that's where the problems are. I think that people should be mentally evaluated, like I said, before they even start fucking. Because if they can't do that responsibly, how are they going to responsibly be able to take care of a child? That's what I believe.
So basically, what you're saying is being a parent should be considered a privilege and not just something that should be entitled.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a right. It shouldn't be a right. All right. You need to pass a series of tests over a course of time. All right. They should be given parenting classes in fucking high school instead of fucking what's that stupid shit that I had, the home economics or some shit. They should be they should throw that in there. They should throw that in there. And if you flunk it, that shit stays on your record. It stays on your record that your ass failed parenting class. So we don't expect you to be having no babies. In fact, if you mess around and start fucking and ain't on birth control, we throw your black ass in jail. God damn it. That's what I believe. Right. Take home economics out, put parenting classes in, so people can actually give because they do that stupid shit in high school where they give you the egg or they give you the doll or they give you the nope. And
fake,
they only
baby, the fake
baby.
They
gave you the fake baby. No. That shit should be a course. All right. It should be that whole class should be parenting. And guess what? It should be mandatory, just like English is, to graduate, and math and trigonometry. That shit should be mandatory for you to pass. You got to have the credit in that class or your ass don't graduate. Because guess what? If you start teaching that and making that a course, guess what? I guarantee you not so many people will pop up pregnant. Not so many people be so fast to, use a raw dick to screw one of these chicks. Because they done took that course, they'll know what it is. They will know what it is.
So what y'all gonna say to people telling y'all that y'all are now depolicing?
How are we policing by saying it should be a parenting class inside of high school instead of stupid fucking home economics that doesn't help anyone? They have you in there making spaghetti and pies and sewing pillows in the shape of owls and shit. What the hell does that do for anybody? You have a parenting class. Guess what? Now you are teaching people the rigors of parenting. You're teaching them the sacrifices and the compromises of parenting. So guess what that means? Some of those people are going to take that course and be like, hey, this shit ain't for me. You know how some Negroes take math and say it ain't for me. English, it ain't for me. Science, it ain't for me. Social studies, it ain't for me. Some people will take parenting class and decide it ain't for me.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, that's gonna be the pushback. Is like, why can't I do what I want to do? Because people are afraid of legislating things that are gonna take away their free will. I personally agree with you. Now, the thing that I disagree with is I do think that we need home ec because people need to know how to cook. They need to know how to sew and repair things. Okay, that does have its place, but I think in addition to that, they should also teach parenting. They should teach budgeting. They should teach income. Like they should teach a tax, doing your taxes, a whole lot of stuff. They should teach credit cards.
But Lady Topaz, home ec is garbage. I took that shit. That shit, I haven't used none of that shit that I learned. Of course,
you haven't used it because you didn't work with your hands. So now here's the thing. So back in the day, right? They would send you through either home ec or shop class. So whichever one, if you're a person that enjoys better working like with stuff in the shop, then you go take that. And either way, both of y'all have something that you can fall back on. And so I took some home ec. I can sew. I didn't take the cooking one, right? So like it has its purpose. I think that we need to actually include things that would be useful in real life for people who aren't going away to college. We get to say what we want in the school curriculum, and that is determined by what do children need to know before they become adults to be well-rounded and a contributor in society. We can say what we want to be in the curriculum, but nobody's actually doing it. So that I think is the problem. And now in terms of Brandon's question, I do feel like before anybody is allowed, first of all, if it was up to me, if I was president, you'd have to have a license to have sex. Of any
Third
kind.
Wars question. Third Wars.
Oh, Third Wars question, right? So you'd have to have a license to have sex of any kind. And I do think that all of this needs to, like, people need to stop trying to separate sex from babies. That is specifically a side effect of having sex. Yeah, you could try to do so responsibly, but everything has a failure rate in it. And so it's still possible. Okay? Just get that through your head. It's still possible. Why is it okay for you to sleep with somebody you don't respect and that you don't see a future with?
Stop. So hold it, Lady Topaz. Now you vagina policing. You vagina policing. Vagina policing.
Shame on you.
I know that, and I'm fully cool
her
with
body, her choice.
Something to say about it. I would vagina police. I would vagina and de-police both of them.
It's her body, her choice, though. But I was going to ask y'all this.
Because when she have a kid, that kid, now I got to live with him when he grow up in society.
Right.
So no, it ain't her damn choice. It does affect my life. Okay.
Right. And I was going to say,
I got something to say.
Everything you guys were saying, it sounds like it should be taught also just at home. And I want to ask you, T.P.O.T, what you think about arranged marriage? I think that's another. I always was big on arranged marriage to be the answer to all these problems we're having in the community. What you think?
I don't have a problem with arranged marriages at all, because you have people other than the two people trying to lay up and screw in on the decision making. You got 6 brains on it as opposed to just 2, and chances are, if you got an arranged marriage, your father, especially the father of the bride, he's going to do his damnedest to pick the best man for you. He's not just going to pick the man that's cute or the man that got the BMW. He's going to pick the man.
Shut up.
He's going to pick the man that he think is best, that's going to be the best provider, the best father. As a father myself, if I was arranging, for my daughters, I would, check the dude out, make sure he had money, make sure he was a solid guy. Me and him would have to chop it up for quite some time, so you talking about more people, involved in the decision making as opposed to just these 2. And likewise, on the groom side, you would have his father, his mother, and they would have some degree of input on this union. And I'm pretty sure a high percentage of those arranged marriages remain up until they get old and die. I'm pretty sure they do. I bet you the divorce rate is really low.
And it's funny you brought up, the groom side, because nobody really brings that up when we talk about arranged marriage. They always think about the daughter being with the best man. I want my son to be with the best woman. I want your woman,
Exactly.
your daughter, whatever, to be submissive, be respectful to her, my son, and all that too. So I'm gonna do the same for my daughter
Exactly.
and son.
Know how to cook,
Know how to cook, clean, just the
yeah.
basics, right?
Yeah, keep the
hmm
crib clean, have some motherly tendencies, so you got more people in on the
Involved.
decision making. Yeah.
Back.
I'm totally with arranged marriages. Absolutely. I wish I could have arranged a marriage my daughter, because the dude she married to is a numbskull. Goddamn, and I wish I could have arranged it, but she got to live with him, not me. But I wish
Yeah,
I
that's
could
why.
have. I wish I could have picked her husband. I would have picked a better one for her.
That's why Third Ward. That's why Third Ward brought up a good point when he said, "Well, anybody could get married." So that's why I don't know why I didn't think about arranged marriage. Make sure my daughter or son is with a functional person, partner to raise kids with.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
that's
you know why people are against arranged marriage. This is my theory, right? Nobody told me this. This is just me watching, and this is the conclusion I came from what I see. The parents don't want to have that responsibility because in arranged marriage, if the spouse that you chose for your child does not live up to to the agreement, you are supposed to now go and enforce that. And so then you don't, like, your kids don't actually leave. They're still around you. So you would have to live with whoever you choose for your kid. They will fit into the family. It would be like a melding of two families that have something equally to gain and lose if this goes south. So more people you would be much more involved in your child's life, even throughout adulthood. So like a lot of people in our culture don't want that type of responsibility. So that's why they're not doing it.
I mean,
Yeah.
they still do though. Even if you don't choose the right mate for your child get with somebody, you still got to pick up the pieces if that person that they chose is not right. If you are a grandfather or grandmother, if that your daughter's going through something with the child, you're gonna have to step in sometimes. I mean, you don't have to,
But
but
they
some
don't.
grand.
That's the thing. So if you didn't choose your child's spouse, if something goes south, it's easy to say, well, you chose them. I ain't had nothing to do with that. And then whatever you do now is optional. If you chose your child's spouse, there are
You are
guidelines that you have
obligated
to
to
do.
pick up those pieces, right? I
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. So like arranged marriage, see, when people talk about having a patriarchal society, when they talk about having arranged marriages, y'all do know that the whole reason how that works is that there are rules for people who benefit from it. You don't get just to do what you want to do. So are you
Right.
going to want to also uphold those rules that makes that worth it, that makes it work? Otherwise, you just half doing something and it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, well,
hmm
the whole arranged marriage system is something that's groomed into the children
Exactly.
very, very early on in life. It's not like they become 25 and then they like, okay, you're gonna marry this guy. This is something that's groomed into them, from early in childhood. These girls know that dad's gonna pick the husband. They know that when they're 4 years old, 5 years old. So by the time they get to be an age of being able to be married, they already understand this is what it's going to be. And likewise
Exactly.
with the son, they understand this what it's going to be. So they kind of grow into it.
But that means now you are beholden to the other family that you arranged this marriage with to raise your child according to that. So
Yeah.
that now means you got work to do. You
Yeah.
can't just send your kid to the back to watch TV while you do whatever you want in the living room. You now have something you have to do, and a whole lot of people don't do it because now that's extra work. We already got people saying that we can't tell them what to do with their kid. See, that is a society thing. That would be a village being involved in your kids being raised. But
Yeah.
everybody want to be able to have the freedom to do whatever they want to with their kids, and nobody can say nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why we're not getting it.
It would never work for black folks because, see, number one, and because you got to think about it like this, right? A lot of people who have children that they're grooming up, for arranged marriages, they themselves came from arranged marriages. So black folks ain't nobody arranging shit. We just laying around fucking whoever we want. And so you can't now turn around and say, I know I got 8 of y'all by 8 different people, but all 8 of y'all, I'm arranging y'all marriages and shit, even though I didn't marry any of your daddies. Like, that's
Damn.
why it wouldn't work for black folks, because see, black folks don't have it. It would have to be something that just started like out of nowhere, because black people don't come from that particular culture, that ideology, that mind state. So, to now try to lay it on to your children probably wouldn't work. All right. Because, like I said, you can't have 4 baby daddies. And now you're going to, even if they all girls, you can't say, well, I didn't marry none of y'all daddies. But see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange a marriage for y'all. Because now you got one fool trying to do something that would work if this fool wasn't at the helm of it. So even if she was to find them husbands, she would find them husbands that's just like the Negroes she had them by, which obviously ain't shit, because ain't none of them around. So, I mean, it would just be a mess. It would be a total mess. It would be a mess, and it wouldn't work for black folks because black people got too many fucking broken ass homes. It would work for some people, of course. I mean, there's always the outliers and exceptions, but for the most part, when you got a bunch of single people, all right, you got all these single mamas and all that shit, because that's who they living with, the kids is living with the most. You'll be asking them, just like Lady Topaz says, to do something they're not really used to doing with the kids, and that is being a fucking parent. So it just wouldn't work. The shit wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work for black folks. Not
let's
the
be
overall
honest.
majority. Not for
People
the
with some-
majority.
Okay, well, let's be honest. People with something to lose are already doing that. They are good for writing kids out the wheel who don't do what they want them to do in adulthood.
Yeah,
So
but
people-
that's
Oh, go ahead.
a small number though.
Right.
I mean, we need it in great numbers for it to make a change. It has to be, we have to get the kids born out of wedlock to a respectable number. We gotta get that shit down to a
Right.
respectable number, man. We gotta get it down to
That
like
is
at
true.
least 30%. If we get it down to like 30%, I think we would see a great change in black society. And that's all jokes aside. If we could get single motherhood down to say 30 to 25%, I think we would see a change in like 10 to 20 years. Because number one, we would see a drop in poverty. Most of the people that are in poverty are what? Single mothers with kids. When it comes to black folks, that's our biggest population of people in poverty is women with kids by themselves, right? So if we knock that down, we done automatically knock down some poverty off rip. Now that we done knocked some poverty down, you know what else we done knocked down? Some crime. All right. We knock down poverty, we're going to automatically knock down crime. That's just a fact. We knock down crime. You know what that means? That means we knock down incarceration, right? Automatically, you knock down crime, you're going to knock down incarceration. Once you knock down incarceration, now what happens? You increase education. And once you start increasing education, now you're going to start to increase success. So once we
got
get
a
these
long
baby,
way to go.
oh
We
yeah,
got a
we do,
long
we
way to
do.
go.
But once we knock this baby mama-ism down to a respectable number, I think it would get better. I truly believe that. I don't think it's going to get better long as we got 70% of kids being born out of wedlock. In the inner cities, it's creeping up on 80%. I mean, because this stuff creates poverty. All right, it creates poverty. Poverty is the motherhood of crime. I don't care what people tell you. Poverty is the motherhood of crime. So I mean, laws we got these, because if you go to any one of these cities, right? For instance, let's talk about a place like Detroit,
Houston.
Chicago,
Oh, okay.
St. Louis, yeah, wherever.
Yeah, you notice how you added Houston, but T.P.O.T already had St. Louis
Yeah,
on the list.
walk into them goddamn neighborhoods, man, and knock on some doors. I guarantee you 90% of those doors are old baby mamas going to answer. I'm telling you. That's just a fact. People, well, oh man, that's not true. Walk into them damn neighborhoods where all that crime is going on and knock on some goddamn doors and tell me how many fathers you see around there. Tell me. So if you knock this shit down, you automatically gonna knock the poverty down. And once you knock this poverty down, man, you're gonna knock down some of this crime. I'm telling you.
Okay,
That's
so
just a
T.P.O.T.
fact.
And this is my point of view, and this is what I've been saying. So all feedback is welcome. Let me know if y'all have any pushback for this, right? Poverty is the mother of crime, but what's the parent of poverty?
What's the parent of poverty?
Yeah.
The parent of poverty is what I think the parent of poverty is. I think the parent of poverty is bad decision making.
Exactly.
Bad decision making. But see, we would get rid of that because see, once we get rid of the incarceration, we would improve education. So if you're somewhat educated, you would make better decisions.
But here's what I'm saying. The beginning starts, right, at how we look at education versus and how that factors into our decision making. Because here's where I'm going with this, right? The reason why I brought up the parent of poverty being bad decision making, recklessness, impulsivity, trying to prove something to other people. All of those things means you are doing things that put you in a position to be more affected by poverty. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because you can be cash poor and make good decisions and climb out of poverty, or at least not make your situation worse. What makes a person in poverty resort to crime versus humbly asking for help, taking the assistance that is available, using it reputably to get off your feet instead of using it as a crutch? So if we can't get people to think that way, as long as we still praising irresponsibility, like why is it even okay for anybody to be sleeping with somebody that they don't see a future with? This pump and dump stuff, I know I'm gonna get pushback from the men. The pump and dump stuff, the thought culture, both of those things contribute to it, because even if you are being responsible, it's a possibility you could still have a kid. Things happen, okay? And then people forget, or either they just caught up in the moment and they just don't use nothing. So let's change the decision making. Let's change the thought process of people, because then even while you are poor, you're going to be able to see the benefit of you making better decisions. The problem that I have in like project communities is that people there feel like they getting over on somebody. They feel like they smart by not having to work and just getting assistance. Like that makes them better than somebody. They're comfortable there. They don't see a problem in it. So of course they're not going to do any of the things that we're talking about here in order to be able to prevent this cycle from continuing, because they feel like if it was good enough for me to grow up in, it's good enough for the kids to grow up in. They don't want to see nothing better. So they definitely aren't going to be motivated to do anything that's going to lead to better outcomes. So if we can change
so you telling,
the process,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Are you telling black people to open their minds?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Shout out to T.P.O.T. Open your minds.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of people find themselves in the throes of poverty because of bad decision making. And like you said, they won't make the decisions to get themselves out of the shit. What they usually do is make decisions to make it even worse. That's why I go back to, having all these kids and shit. Because number one, fine. You find yourself knocked up, you done got knocked up by some dude, he done pumped and dumped you, and now he done moved to the other side of the world. Okay. Now you stuck with this kid, right? You don't have any money. The father doesn't want to be involved. And that's why I get on the women the way I do. That's why I get on these old mamas the way I do, because statistically, percentage-wise, you're going to end up with the kid, all right? It's not like, all these dudes is taking the kids and marrying your black asses. 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up with this kid. So you have the most to lose and the most to gain when it comes to copulation with men. That's why I think that women have more of a responsibility, because see, they are taking the most risk when it comes to having babies. All right. And 9 times out of 10, they are going to be the ones stuck with the baby, and you also have the risk of goddamn death laying on that damn delivery table. So I would think that women would take this a little more seriously, especially when they watch their mamas, grandmamas, aunts, and cousins go through the same bullshit. But that being said, once you've had one, because you always start with one, right? Unless you give birth to twins or triplets or whatever. You always start with that first one. And you look at your station in life with that first one, right? Now, what should you do if you already don't have any money? What should you do if the father isn't doing shit for that kid? What should you do if your ass is already broke, busted, and still living with your mother? I don't know what to tell you what you should do, but what I will tell you what you shouldn't do is have another one. All right? I
can
can tell you
what
that.
you should do. You should fix your priorities. So at that moment, you now have a child that's counting on you. So what you need to be doing now is thinking about how you gonna take care of yourself and this child. You probably need to enroll in some type of program, get a job of some kind, and start saving up to get on your feet. Accept the assistance that comes with having one kid, but also use that time. Right? If you're getting government assistance, you're not required to have a job or whatever, then use that time to enroll in some type of program that's going to be able to allow you to get a different job that's going to allow you to take care of you and this child. Because unless and until somebody shows up and wants to take on all of that, you're going to be responsible for you and this child. Now, it's nice if somebody does show up and decide to help you, but if they don't, you still got to be okay, and you got to do it for this child's sake.
Yeah, I mean, because you a lot of times what I think people do, all right, and I know I got people in my family that are like this. They just do the dumbest of shit. I mean, they think they're gonna make the problem better by making it worse. Like, you already broke. This dude you got the baby by, he broke. Now you done got knocked up. I mean, all you've done is created another broke ass person. Now instead of two broke people, we got three. Unless the baby gonna fall up out of that hole with a fistful of $100 bills. So you don't create
Facts.
you done created another broke person, is what you've done. That's all you've done. Created a broke person number three. So now you got broke person number three. You're not doing shit with that. You're not trying to get up out of this brokenness. You're struggling. You ain't in school. You ain't really working like talking about. This dude is not doing anything. So what do you turn around and do? You don't even have a baby by this dude. You go and you have a baby by another broke ass motherfucker. So now we got broke person number 4 and 5. Because guess what? That baby ain't gonna fall out of there with a fistful of $100 bills, just like the first one didn't. And guess what? Now your black ass is even broker now, because you're going to have even less than you had before. And now you got another one. See, that's my thing. See, I'm the type of dude where I've always given women the benefit of the doubt when it comes to one. Fine, you met a guy, he filled your head with a bunch of BS. He told you he loved you, he's gonna be with you forever, even though y'all was only 17. He told
Allegedly.
y'all was gonna be together forever. He's 17, you 17. Oh, we gonna get married. I love you, girl. We gonna be together till we old. Okay, all that changes once your belly get big. So now he disappears and you never see him again, right? So I can kind of give a woman the benefit of the doubt with one, but once it gets to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, you know what's going down. You've heard all the fucking lines from these Negroes. They've all given you their same web of bullshit, right? They give you the same line. They love you. They're going to be with you. They want you to have a baby. Come on, let me hit it raw. You've heard all of this before, girl. You've heard it all before. How many times do you fall for it? How many times do you let these dudes continue to do to you what you saw, what was done to you, how it made you not only poorer than you were, more destitute than you were, Now you got more stretch marks than you had, and your black ass way fatter, and your damn breasts look like you holding up 2 slices of pizza when you take your shirt off. So after having all this done to you, why would you continue to do it? Why continue to do it time after time after time after time after time? That's what I don't understand.
You know why? Because the good Lord gonna make a way, and gonna help them find a way to get through it. That's why.
Oh,
children are a
sweet
blessing.
Jesus. Sweet Jesus is gonna help you out of here. And he's gonna goddamn send your husband too.
Children are a blessing too. All children are a blessing.
Let's not leave that out. I don't believe that though. I think there's something more to that. I think there's something more to that. What I believe it is that when women have babies, especially when they're having babies by multiple dudes, if you having a baby by one guy, that's one thing, right? Y'all together, y'all having kids. When they having these babies by these multiple guys, because I know quite a few women when I was coming up that had 4 and 5 and 6, by dudes. I think it's like cocaine, right? They had that first baby, they walk around waddling like a penguin, all pregnant, and everybody giving them praises and saying how pretty they look. And oh, girl, you glowing and all this kind of foolishness, right? So they have the baby, they have the baby shower, then they have the baby, and now the baby's out. They get to hold the baby and do all this kind of stuff and walk around, and everybody say, "Oh my God, look at her! She's such a stellar mother." But see, all that goes away once the baby starts walking and he gets a little independent. So now it's different, right? So now she got to get that hit again. She need another hit. She needs another hit. So why not get another hit from another dude so she can go through the whole shit again? The pregnancy, the baby shower, the carrying the baby, the glowing, all this kind of nonsense. I think there's an element of that involved. It's just like, when you take that first hit of cocaine, every hit after that, you're trying to feel the way you feel when you took that first hit, but it never happens.
You try to chase the feeling of that first
hit. Boy, they're chasing that hit. And I think with some women, this is what it is. They're chasing that whatever they experience with that first one, they're trying to experience it over and over and over and over again. And it never freaking happens. It never happens.
And that's short-sighted, and it's low self-esteem. It's short-sighted because you're not thinking about what happens. Like, when you have a baby, it doesn't stay a baby forever. You don't stay pregnant forever. So you're not paying attention to the fact that the child gets bigger and then it's not going to be the same. And second of all, it's low self-esteem because you don't feel like there's anything better than that. You can't fathom a world in which you could stay with the father and actually raise the kid and have a family. You feel like this is the best there is. So it's kind of like acceptance and hopelessness. So it's not a good mental state to be in, to be able to keep going through that over and over and over.
No, and they keep doing it. Shout out to MGTOW Flight, my fellow North Carolinian, for the $2 super chat. He says these BMTs plan on getting pregnant initially. I believe that, brother MGTOW, and you get this, brother. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, because let's be honest here, man. I mean, women have control over whether or not they get pregnant or not. I mean, at least they have the bulk of the control. Okay. I mean, if a woman don't want to get pregnant, she won't. All right. She don't want to get pregnant. She's not. It's just as simple as that. I mean, it's not like, because I know you say a lady Topaz, that, y'all connect babies, y'all connect sex with babies. But I mean, I knew a lot, just like I knew a lot of baby mamas. I knew a lot of chicks who was screwing everybody, and they never got, they never popped up pregnant until they got with a dude that they ended up, being with for a while. They was screwing everybody in town. God damn it.
She was taking a chance though. Like if at any point one of those condoms had broke, if at any point she got a bad batch of birth control pills where they were maybe expired or something, anything could have happened. There are times where if you are taking other medications, it interferes with your birth control. She was taking a chance and she got lucky. Okay, what I'm trying to say is people need to stop saying like, yes, science has gotten us to a point where if we can almost say that we will never get pregnant unless we want to. That's not actual reality. A 99% chance means there's still a 1% chance that you will. Why even
Yes.
take that chance?
That's true. That's true, Lady Topaz. There is that 1 to 2% chance, but if you actively try to not get pregnant, don't you think that if you do happen to get pregnant, at least that can be called and a mistake because it was unintentional because you were actually really
But see,
trying to not.
Okay, so but T.P.O.T, in my opinion, that's giving her an excuse. It's not a mistake. You knew when you laid down that it was only 99% effective. Where do they get that 1% from? Somebody got to be the 1%. And you was taking a chance on that. So for me, I don't feel like we should like rest on our laurels because it's still not 100%. It's still possible. Know that when you lay your ass down. That's what I feel like needs to happen. I don't call any children a mistake because if you've grown enough to lay down and have sex, you knew that that was a possibility. However slim of a chance it was still possible. And I don't want to hear all that. I don't care what
Well,
happened.
what about when they say condoms break? Sometimes situation like that happens.
Okay, but you still lay down there to have sex. Okay, you know condoms possibly break. You ain't the first person it happened to.
It sounds
But
like
now it's a law passed in
it
Illinois
sounds
where
like
women can
vagina policing to me, Lady
Possibly,
Topaz.
and I'm not sorry.
Vagina policing.
Well, T.P.O.T, I don't know if you know
sorry.
if I get a chick pregnant by accident, like I was saying with the condom breaking, she could sue me for that. I don't know if y'all knew that. That's what they do in Illinois now with that law.
Damn.
Okay, so I thought you was talking about in California because they just passed a bill to make
Illinois
stealthing a felony.
They said, say it again. I'm sorry.
Okay, so in California, stealthing is a felony now. So if you are pretending to put on a condom and then take it off in the middle without getting the person's consent.
Oh yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah, I definitely agree with that
That's
one.
what I thought you was talking about. So now what
No,
happened
but in Illinois, if me and the girl is consensual sex and I'm using a condom, but for some reason the condom break, she get pregnant, unwanted baby, she could sue me.
Oh Jesus. Can you imagine what it's like as a kid to grow up and know that your mom sued your dad because she didn't want you?
Damn.
See, this is what I'm saying. The fact that that's a possibility, I personally don't agree with that. And I would get a whole lot of hate from people because here's my thing is if you know that it's a possibility, it doesn't matter. What if the condom breaks? What if it falls off? What if was a fifth? Whatever. This is still possible. And I think that grown people need to understand that when you have sex, that is possible. And I think that in my legislation, when I run for president, when I start saying you gotta have a license to have any type of sex, that's gonna be part of it. Is you understanding that whatever you are using is not fail proof. Okay.
So should people not be having sex, Lady Topaz, unless they want to have babies?
I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that before you have sex, you need to be capable of raising a child that is financially, mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally and physically, right? And you also need to care about the person you sleeping with because you need to be able to co-parent with this person at the very minimum.
So, but what if they don't want kids, though? Should they be, should you be preparing for kids that you don't want? Like, I would, this is my thing. I wish the people who really want kids have them, and the people who really don't have them. That would be my wish if I could snap my fingers and make that a reality, because the people who want them are probably going to be better suited to take care of them as opposed to the people who don't really want them and a condom broke, or they forgot to take the pill, or the pill didn't work and they just pop up. That's what you call oops. The oops babies where you wasn't trying to get pregnant but you did. So that means if you wasn't trying to get pregnant, you probably don't want it once you're pregnant because you weren't trying to get pregnant. So I mean, when does the switch flip? And now you want the kid because you obviously didn't want it because you was doing all this other stuff not to get it, right?
I feel like you should not be having sex if you are not capable to understand that even if you don't want a kid, that if it happens, that's the life that you were given right now. Okay?
Lady Topaz. Lady Topaz is vagina policing y'all.
And I'm not sorry. And here's why, right? Because you need to get over it. Okay. So right now, science has not caught up to that, to your wish being granted, T.P.O.T. Okay. If I could snap my fingers, I would want the same thing, and a lot of these problems will be solved. However, as of right now, the world we live in, we know that we're not there yet. So right now, when you're sleeping with somebody, you have to understand that it's possible. That's all I'm saying. And a grown person who is adulting understands that if it's possible and it happens, that you handle it. You don't get to whine and complain about it. Okay, I'm pregnant. Do I have the financial capability of raising this child? Am I physically and mentally capable of raising this child? Then I'm going to do what I need to do. Can I co-parent? Can I get along with the other parent enough for us to be able to make joint decisions and be an active force in this child's life? And this is bare minimum. If you can't do that, you don't need to be sleeping with nobody because you need to get your life together to where you feel like you can handle something that's thrown at you. If you're if you have a job that you like or whatever, and you come down with a cold or you get sick, you don't have to take time off. You sit there, you take the time off, you deal with it, you handle it, and then you get back out there. If you get pregnant or you get somebody pregnant, you take the time off, you handle it, and then you get back to life. Okay, it's life.
I mean, in the fantasy world, of course, we want people to wait to marriage, but it's not going to happen in today's.
Well, wait till the right marriage. Era. Because if you marry somebody just for money or just because you like how they look, but you don't actually like their personality, that's not a good situation either.
That's the thing. We put sex above everything. We put sex above intelligence. We put sex above resources, all that. So if a person don't look good to you, a woman not really think about marrying you. They think about having cute babies.
Yeah.
See, but you know what? But that's because we live in a society where beauty is actually praised. Prison Babe, right? He did whatever the fuck he did to get locked up, and when he got out, he had a modeling contract ready for him. And
married a billionaire, and married a damn billionaire,
exactly.
man.
Why is that available to his criminal felony having ass? So, like in real life, beautiful people are rewarded. Now, I think that society needs to stop doing that shit.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to MGTOW Flight again for another $2. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. And brother MGTOW Flight says she gets pumped and dumped when he realizes she's bad. I mean, I agree with you to an extent, a lady Topaz, that, you know, if you're going to be laying down, you know, you probably need to be prepared. Where I disagree is that, you know, because people are going to be having sex. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. People gonna lay down and knock boots and
okay, so then stop the complaining. Handle it. Shut the hell up and handle it.
And they're not gonna be thinking about babies most of the time when they're doing it.
Okay, so
they're not going to be thinking about. They're not going to be thinking about babies. They're not going to be thinking about parenthood. They're not going to be, especially people who are trying to take precautions. Especially the brothers who do wear their condoms. Especially the women who do take the pill or do take the morning after pill. You know, these are people who are consciously trying not to get pregnant. So of course, you know they're gonna be fucking because they doing all the shit to not get pregnant. Right.
Okay, so if you got a chick and she like got the baddest shape you've ever seen, right? But then you already know before you get the draws that something's off about her, you still gonna do it?
Oh, what you talking about? The lunatics who try to kill the kids and all that kind of stuff? Or you talking about a chick with one eye and a half an arm?
See, okay, so listen, so if the chick got one eye and half an arm, y'all will be able to say no to that. But I'm talking about
I don't know.
She got a fat ass.
Brothers climb on top of anything.
But she's selfish.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
selfish and greedy. And you hear her make a whole lot of comments about running through people's pockets, but she ain't asked you personally for nothing yet. You still gonna do it?
I think brothers will. I mean, that's kind
That
of
is
why
the problem.
we're in the predicament that we're in, right?
Exactly.
Because you got people, that are willing to sleep with anybody, men or women. They're willing to sleep. Women are willing to sleep with men who are broke, don't got no money, don't got no car,
Exactly.
live in grandma's cellar. When you call him, you hear the boiler firing over, boo, because it's next to his bed. And likewise, you got dudes who will climb on top of these freaking lunatics who 6 months after they have the baby will stab it in the throat. So we got a lot of this going on, inside of black society, and
I
it's
don't know.
hurting it.
I don't know if y'all remember this, but I think this happened either a year or two ago. But there was a story of a brother dealing with a sister that was his woman, and somehow I guess they got into it about something. She stabbed the dude. The dude ended up getting rushed to the hospital, and she came up there after she stabbed him and got up in the damn hospital bed with him and laid next to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't do nothing about it. He just sit there, laid there with her and was like, guess he forgave her.
Yeah. I don't care that you stabbed me, girl, and try to kill me. I mean, we got a lot of lunatics, man. Cause let us be this, because we're gonna wrap this up in a few minutes, because we creeping up on the 3.5 hour mark. But there is she is brother Taylor. She is.
Hey, but I'll say this real quick. That's why
Taylor.
that's why she's the first lady for the Record TV, and we put her down on the team because not only is she funny, but she can be very insightful. She has good opinions to give, and just her own take on things, and that's why she's a part of the team. That's why she's the first lady for the Record TV. So
well, you guys have good chemistry, and the answer to your question that you asked me, Lady Topaz, is yes. I don't know if you checked or not.
I did. Thank you.
This is the thing, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, Lady Topaz, because I know this is what you do for a living. A lot of people in black society are walking around with undiagnosed mental illness. So when you take these undiagnosed mental deranged outpatients, all right, because instead of out here having all kinds of babies, they probably need to be locked up some fucking where with a straitjacket. But they're not in the rubber room with a straitjacket. They're walking around, right, having kids and shit. So I think that's part of the problem too. We got a lot of people who should be in straitjackets are in somebody's bed naked. I think that's part of the problem too.
That's what happens when you have a society that rewards a fat ass over mental stability. Because it's dudes that's out here saying, "Oh well, crazy chicks got the best box." Okay, well, but are you still gonna do it though?
Yeah, that is a saying. Brothers do say it. I'm on the fence with that. Because if she's batty wackles, how do you ever get to that point? Like she's nuts. So it's not like you just walk up and she just raise her skirt, right? So you gotta have some type of conversation or do sign language or something, to get her to that point. But if she's an outpatient that really needs to be, somewhere in like a rubber room somewhere, how do you even get to the point of getting her, on her, getting her on her back when she's like this nut job? She's like a lunatic. So what do you say to her? Like what do you say to the lunatic to get her naked? Like, or maybe you don't have to say anything. Maybe she's such a lunatic that soon as she see you, she just takes off her clothes. I don't know. But
okay, but here's the problem. Men feel like that means they hit the jackpot instead of, hey, something wrong with this. This is a setup.
Yeah. I mean, soon as you see her, she just makes some crazy noise and just go and take off her clothes and get in the bed and shit. So, I mean, I don't even know how they get to the point where they climb on top of these lunatics, that kill the kids and do all this crazy stuff. I mean, unless you're crazy too and y'all speak the same crazy lunatic language, and that's how y'all make it happen. It's got to be one of those things. It's got to be. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. Any parting shots before we get up out of here, y'all?
Vote Topaz for president 2024.
Well, let me stop lying. I ain't gonna vote for your ass if you're on that ballot.
See, you didn't
I ain't
stop.
voting for her neither. I'm not voting for her neither. Hell no.
Say it. So what you like? Don't be worried about what people gonna say. You start the voting off, T.P.O.T. All right, you stop acting like that.
I would say once again, thank you, Brother X, T.P.O.T, for allowing us to come on your channel and
absolutely,
speak on different topics and just promote the channel. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely
always showing love and support. We appreciate that, and also, if you guys want to get away from the everyday repetitive talking points and topics that are part of this space, come to our channel For the Record TV. Come over there, subscribe. We go live every Saturday at 4:45 Eastern Standard Time, 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The latest will probably go live is maybe like 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or whatnot. But we talk about a number of things. From sports to every now and then we get into evolving relationships. Just like current news, stuff like that. We talk about music sometimes. We talk about a variety of things, and we kind of try to touch all bases, and we might in one stream we might touch 6 or 7 different topics. So you want a little bit of a variety, instead of just one particular topic the whole stream, come to our channel and subscribe, and you'll enjoy yourself, because we're not about the drama over there. We have fun, we crack jokes, we talk about serious stuff as well. So it's kind of like you get a mixture of everything, So come over there, come subscribe, come join us over there in our variety of conversations over there.
Yeah, get on down there, y'all, because this is what they do down there, man. They do good stuff down there. I try to get down there and catch them live whenever I can. These my folks right here, man, and I'm always going to support them. And if y'all want more of what you saw tonight, man, get your black asses down there and check out my folks, man. Subscribe. I put the link in the chat, just in case y'all don't know how to go look for nobody's channel. Get on down there. Get on down there, man, and hit them with a subscribe, man. Because if you don't, I will haunt your old black ass mama in her dreams.
Topaz, I told you, he said black ass mamas. I told you.
Don't make me do it. Y'all know I will. Leave
my mama alone, X. Leave her alone, man. Leave my mama alone, man.
Bed tonight, boy. Mama come running down in the basement where your ass at and be like, oh my God, there's a guy up there floating over the bed. Y'all will be like, oh man, that's just X, man.
That's just X. I was about to say that.
I forgot to go down there.
I'm gonna be like, okay, so what you do though?
What you do though?
You should have thought about that. How when you was a kid, you get sometimes you get in trouble. They be like, I can't prove you did nothing, but this just in case you got away with something that I ain't noticed. All right, well, I'm gonna be like, okay, so maybe you got away with something I ain't noticed. So you probably need to handle that and call me back.
Yeah, man. Get on down there and subscribe, man. Don't make me float over mama bed tonight, all right? Don't, because I'll do it.
They listening, X, because we up to 394 subs. I think we was at 387 earlier today, something like that.
Better have.
Yeah, appreciate all the new subscribers. Yeah, appreciate you, X. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Man, we really appreciate it. We trying to build our channel organically. We trying to, because it's a lot of people that their channel might blow up overnight, but we trying to do it the organic way that where our success lasts, because we don't want to just be, big one minute and then forgotten about the next. So. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Come on over there. So
yeah, man, get on down there, man, and subscribe to my folks, man. And every now and then you might catch my ass down there talking some shit. You never know.
Right.
You never know. But yeah, man. Any
one more thing I was
going
to ask you. Did Deontay Wilder lose his fight because of white supremacy? Or was it a fair fight? Or was it a fair fight?
Well, according to some people, it was white supremacy. They was like, oh, he lost because of this, that, and the other thing. No, he lost because he lost. How about that? He lost because he lost. How about why can't that just be the reason? Why does it have to be white supremacy, Jim Crow, the white power structure? Why does it have to be all of that? How about he just lost because he lost? Pretty simple, right? But go ahead. Anybody else? Parting shots.
Nah,
Nah,
man.
that's about it, man. Like I
I
said,
think that's about
appreciate
it.
you
Yeah.
inviting us, brother. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely, man. I'm gonna try to come down there and catch y'all, man. Next week, man, because my work's scheduled to slow down a little bit. We're only working about 4 days a week now, so Saturdays I don't really do too much, only like in the early part of the day. So I'm gonna try to get on down there and check y'all out more often, man.
Oh, so T.P.O.T, you gotta come to our Halloween stream.
You told me about that, but you told me
I'm gonna keep
about that
saying it
last week. You
until
like, but
okay.
I ain't wearing no damn costume. You was like, oh,
See,
you gotta wear a costume.
so okay, so if you could have a voice box, you could have all of these different little videos that you show hunting mamas and stuff. You hunting people, but you're not gonna wear a costume.
Hell no.
That's where you
Hey,
draw the
you know
line.
what? I got the perfect. I got the
If I
perfect
come,
idea for you,
if I
T-Pop.
come in mama house, I'm gonna be dressed like myself. I ain't
See,
gonna be dressed. I ain't gonna be dressed
see,
like
and
a
I got the
goblin.
perfect.
you
I got the
supposed to be
perfect
scary.
suggestion
What
for
is that?
I got the perfect suggestion for T-Pop. He can be the ghost of single mothers Halloween.
Yeah, there it is.
come hot. All the black ass mamas, like you said.
There it is.
So
There it is.
you
See,
know.
listen to Third Ward. Brother Third Ward know what's good. Yeah, she told me about it like the other week. She was like, oh, you got to wear a costume. I'm like, oh, God, come on. No.
But you
Absolutely.
literally hunt people. You be celebrating Halloween all year, hunting people. And then, so for Halloween, I'ma just be like, stop being like that. Man. Come on now. Get in the holiday spirit.
This is what I'm willing to do. Okay. I'm willing to put a different avatar up. I'm willing to do that. Yeah, I'll put my ghost picture on my avatar. I'll do that.
All right, that can be a compromise. And y'all know, so we got like 4 haters. We have 4 thumbs down, and I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, that's ironic. For the record, 4 dislikes. That's ironic.
You know what though?
All this positivity that's happening over here today, y'all gonna dislike. See that right there is the problem in black community right there.
But you know what though? I take responsibility because I guarantee you those 4 likes probably came from 4 of my haters that don't like me because I'm the most hated out of the crew. So I take responsibility for that. It's cool.
Oh, they followed you over.
I agree.
Well, don't get me wrong. I got quite a few haters myself, so they probably all mine. Yeah, they're probably all mine. Because I think one was a dislike was before the stream even started, while it was just a thumbnail. It was a thumbnail.
Miserable as hell, just walking around listening to screen to dislike. Like that is, I would rather do something else with my
it was a dislike on the thumbnail. So that's probably my hater.
Before we get up out of here, I'm going to post it if it's okay with you. The first Halloween stream that we did last Halloween, we actually did it on Sister Topaz's channel because we was in a transition period when we left the old channel before we created this new channel for the regular TV, and we did it on her channel that particular day because, like I said, this is before we started for the regular TV, and needless to say, it was a pretty dope stream. A lot of good feedback. A few people came up on the panel and engaged in it, and it was just fun. So I'm gonna post a link to that stream that we did on her channel last Halloween.
Go ahead, drop it, spam it. Go ahead, spam it in there. Drop it in there, and you Negroes better go watch it too. God damn it, go down there and watch it. Right now. Watch it.
I'm gonna replay and watch that Jay Shine stream. I want to see that Jay Shine what he was saying on here.
Yeah. You know, brother Jay Shine, my folks, man. I've been fucking with Jay Shine a long time. He can come up here whenever the hell he want. So yeah, he came in and said his stuff. We were. It's crazy because we were talking on the phone the other day. And, we were going to do it a little differently, but we decided to, he wanted to come in. He just wanted to get some stuff off of his chest. So I just pretty much gave him the floor, asked him maybe 4-5 questions tops. And, he went because we forget he's in Germany. So it's probably like over there. It's got to be like 3-4 in the morning. So, He is a working man, so there is that. So yeah, he came and he did what he wanted to do, and then he left. That's brother Deshaun. Yeah, y'all see the link in the chat. Brother Third Ward has just dropped it. Folks, get your black behinds down there. Okay. And if you ain't gonna watch it now, you better mark it. You know that little thing where it say watch later. You better hit
watch
that
later.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you better hit that shit, Negroes. Any more parting shots before we out of here, Lady
No,
Topaz?
sir.
No, I'm good. I said a lot. If I come up with something to say, I'll come back. I always got opinions. So
And we ain't voting for it neither. We ain't doing that.
Well,
that's why, you know what? I'm gonna take away your voting rights. That's gonna be my first executive order as president. Yes, I'm gonna be a whole dictator just to you, Brandon, because you need to stop acting like this.
It felt good timing you out too the other day too. It felt good timing you out.
Whatever. I knew that was your ass. I knew it.
Well, if y'all aren't doing anything on Thursday, I'm doing a show. My ass ain't put the thumbnail up, but Thursday night I'm doing a show called "What Is Justice," and we're going to be talking about whether or not we as Black people, do we want justice or do we want to just feel like we've gotten justice? So if y'all ain't doing nothing Thursday night, come by, man, because that's what we're going to be chopping it up about. All right, Thursday.
Okay.
But
we definitely appreciate the the opportunity again to come back up here and
Absolutely,
speak our piece,
man.
whatever. Supporting the channel, plugging it in. We appreciate it, and another great stream. So
Yeah, man.
it.
I really enjoyed this, man. I enjoyed this, man. Y'all my folks, man, and whenever y'all always welcome down here, man. Always welcome here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. All right, peace, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, brother Bitcoin L, brother Third Ward, and Lady Topaz. Y'all get on down there, man, and subscribe to my folks, man. Boy, I don't let you watch my shit no more. Get down there and watch my people before I don't let you watch my shit no more. But we do got a few programming notes that I got to hit y'all with before we are out of here, because y'all know at the end of the night we always do T.P.O.T's programming notes. Yeah. I think, Wednesday night, my man Corey Haywood will be here. Let me turn this on. Yeah, my man Corey Haywood will be here. Y'all need to look him up. My man Corey is a blogger, writer, shit starter. He's got a couple books out there. You might be familiar with his book called Coon Flakes. He's a freelance writer. He's known to write for the Black Hat and Euroweb. This dude here, he's another dude, man. I've been fucking with Corey, man, since 2014, 2015 too. He's been around me for a while, ever since I was in radio. So make sure y'all here, man, Wednesday night, because he's coming in and he's talking about his new article in Euroweb. It's called A Letter to You Simp Ass Men. Yeah, that's what it's called. And he'll be here discussing it. We'll probably read a few excerpts of it as well. And we'll be chopping it up with my brother, Corey Haywood. He's like a little brother to me, man. I've known him for such a long time. Yeah, he's going to come through, man. He'll be here Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You freaking know. And also, like I just got done telling my folks, Thursday night, we're going to be doing a show called What is Justice? Inspired by my man, SKC. He talks about this often. He says that, we don't really want justice. And we're going to find out Thursday night, man. We're going to be doing a show called What is Justice? And I'm going to be highlighting a story. I'm going to be talking about, I ain't going to tell y'all who it is. It's going to be a surprise. But I'm going to highlight a story about a person who was found dead. And from what they're saying about the death, there is no foul play in the death. But there is a campaign for justice for this person. Now, I don't know what kind of justice they're seeking, because this person apparently was not murdered, was not harmed, just found dead. But the family is crying out justice for this person, which I do not understand. So I will probably be highlighting a few of those cases Thursday night. All right. All right. Make sure you hear, man. What is justice? All right. And then Wednesday night, my man Corey Hayward will be here chopping it up, talking his shit. And he's probably going to make a lot of you mad. Because like I said, he just dropped an article in Euroweb, and it's called A Letter to Simp Ass Men. So don't miss it. Be here Wednesday and Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Good shit tonight, man. You know, we had Jay Shine come in earlier, and then my folks came in, man, and we chopped it up. You know, the show just kind of flowed, because I told them, you know, that we didn't really have a topic. We were just gonna, you know, kind of freestyle and chop it up. And see, they're good at this, because this is what they do all the time, y'all. Like what y'all saw tonight, this is how they chop it up. All right. This is how the whole crew get down there, and they usually talk about way more subjects than I do on a night. You know, they talk about sports, trending events, current events, shit that's in the news. They do that every week down there. They do like 4 or 5 stories. They do sports stories, and then after that, they bring Negroes up and let them talk. Yeah, after doing all that, they still let niggas come up and run their old mouths. So get on down there, man. Check out my people, man. For the Record TV, man. These my folks, man. I always support them, man, as much as I can. I try to catch them live, but a lot of times when they go on, you know, when they go live, my ass be working. So, but I'm probably going to start catching them more, because I've been taking, you know, Saturday evenings off. So you come down there, man. You might catch my black ass down there too. All right. All right. So we're going to get on up out of here, man. I appreciate all you good folks, man. I appreciate all the cash apps and the super chats. Y'all was showing out tonight, man. Like really showing out with the cash apps and the super chats. I appreciate that. But more importantly, man, I appreciate your participation, man. Like I always say, man, I don't take you lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. You got my word on that. You could have been anywhere on a Saturday night, man, and you decided to be here, not for one show, but for 2. Not for one show, but for 2. And it's appreciated, man. It is. I appreciate all you good folks, man. The good folks that hang out in here, and the good folks who hang out up in here. All right. And another special shout out to For the Record TV, Brother Bitcoin L, Lady Topaz, and Brother Third Ward Colombian. Y'all get on down there and check out my folks for I haunt your old mammy tonight. So with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words, you know, like I always do. Negroes. Open your mind.
Dark Exodus. Dark Exodus. The protester. Dark Exodus.
Open your mind.
know.
Yeah, X. Dark exit.
You understand?
Yeah, X.
You understand? Open your mind.
Dark X. Yeah, X.
You know.
You understand?
Yeah, X.
Open your mind.
Dark exodus.
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your mind.